internet live.
Oh my god.
Making podcasts.
Making podcasts, schism,
What is happening in this room?
My goodness.
Some sort of gas leak.
It's an entire season.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what we should do. We should do seasons of the BMFcast.
oh, is that
Okay.
what we're doing?
Yeah, that way
Yeah.
we can resubmit it to iTunes every
Yeah.
time and get new and
hot
notable
new season.
eventually.
iTunes BMFcast season
One day.
9.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe we can get on
need to-
Kickstarter.
And then we'll just get a bunch of reviews that are like,
huh?
oh, they spoil the whole movie.
Yeah, that's fine.
These guys suck. They watch movies nobody watches and then spoil them.
No, but
Why
then,
can't they watch more obscure movies?
but then we can do.
That's what I want. Is I want
It
the
was so easy to find this one.
Yeah.
just went right on Netflix and it was there. We didn't have to work.
Schism. All right. Is it on Twitter yet?
Oh, we're working on it.
Okay.
Detention live stream. A live stream of Detention.
We are in detention. We're
They
not
say
leaving
the
this
name of the
room.
movie, but then they don't even show it.
Yeah. Just stop talking and play the movie,
Unlike-
dumbasses.
Wait, did they get rid of the view all comments view?
Sure, why not? It's
Sure.
a new day. It's a new layout on YouTube.
Seriously, it's gone now.
Yeah, they've rearranged a whole bunch of shit.
Oh, awesome.
Hey,
Mine, it like
So now I'm just going to be streaming it technically in the background, even though it's
Technically.
paused.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't it?
I'm sure we can find a way. There's a will. There's a way. There's a
Hit refresh.
Refreshing
Oh,
son
it
of
just
a
made
bitch.
it go away.
Podcast.
Hide the chat.
Yeah.
yeah, get
Because
rid
that's
of
what
that
you
chat.
want. Fucking hide that shit.
Ditch that chat.
Maybe it's just live now. Maybe
No,
that's
just
just how.
live.
Maybe there is no.
Hey man,
We can live. We
It's your
can
life.
both live.
Hey YouTube,
YouTube.
stop fucking with your shit.
it's Google, man.
Hey Google, stop fucking with YouTube shit.
I'll set it down.
I swear, it's just like,
Yeah.
they just fix something. Like, make a new thing.
Yeah.
Stop fucking with your old shit.
Right.
That's all I ask.
Yes. Keep the good things good and
Yeah.
fix the bads. You dumbasses.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure technically I am now streaming the stream in the background. Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
see the little thing going.
Oh yeah, you can totally see that
Sure
thing.
is.
That little thing's just going. Yeah.
I will put it down to 144p.
Oh,
at the very
that is
least.
what I did.
That's gonna
Yeah.
look so good.
Yeah,
Just mark it as watch later.
Ooh.
Nope, undo that.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe you can
Bop.
kill.
Maybe you can kill.
Maybe I can kill. Maybe we can kill.
Oh, sweet.
What?
144 is like internet from 2002.
Yeah.
It's like 1992.
You should try
Yeah.
to
What?
close
at
it
that.
to like 160 by
When you put it at
Oh, yeah.
144p. This is like flip phone video quality.
Yeah, baby.
Does anyone twittering it?
I posted it on Facebook.
Yeah, I was working on it.
Somebody
I
else
got
was taking
distracted
care
by
of
the
the Twitter.
comments thing.
I'm ready to retweet
Your body is ready?
it. Yes.
Ha,
Is
get
your
it?
mind willing?
It's one of
Yes.
those memes.
It is a meme. Meme.
Meme.
I just started a meme.
Meme.
Me.
Meme.
Actually, it's pronounced meme.
Jokes.
Huh. I think this movie done broke our goddamn heads.
We watched a movie?
Nah.
Hey, that refreshed automatically.
I know, right?
It's new.
So they've combined the views?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You can't go to a page all by itself and not live stream
right.
because they don't want that.
Nope.
Fuck that.
Hey, YouTube, I know there's not a lot of people streaming on you right now, so maybe you're possibly popping over here for whatever reason, because we are. We people putting the content out on the internet might possibly
Oh, what does
want
it do?
to look at only the comments and not actually take up any of our bandwidth re-downloading the thing that we're putting out there. So
Yeah.
if you could maybe, I don't know, bring that button back, that'd be
Yes.
awesome.
The
So,
content creators would like their own individual comment stream.
just to view all comments. It was there
Yeah.
last week.
It worked fine.
It was great.
We all liked it,
We took too long, man.
and now it's gone.
Yep.
Maybe
Yeah.
if we smash YouTube in the face with a hammer.
An axe?
No.
Let me ask them some question.
Yeah. Why don't you ask their contact help?
With a hammer.
What?
No, Sean Connery is not a part of this.
Oh, hey, we have a tweet. I will now retweet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Please
hey,
do.
we have a tweet.
It is now tweeted.
Lube
again.
up the lips.
Tweet that shit.
Tweeted back around.
Beaching like a hammer.
So
Beaching like a hammer.
And the newscaster guy, professional poker player.
Yes, that's what I said.
Wow, that was a big get for them.
Nobody.
Big get.
I tremble.
Oh, good. Now we can watch.
man.
We can watch Detention of the Dead when we're done.
If I stumble.
We're doing
Let's
Detention
not.
month.
Ooh, we already have a new voicemail from unknown caller.
All right.
Call your car. Hey, guys, we're calling off from on time.
Hey, spoilers.
I'm going to flag that.
Hodgepodge beaching like a hammer.
What the hell is going on?
No,
Beaching
we're
let's-
all
let's-
broken.
Shh, everybody, shh. Let's make podcast.
Well, how can we
Let's make
podcast
a
if we?
podcast.
Well, for you to start it, and then we clap and say a couple words, and then everybody goes, "Hey!" all at once.
man.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Let's try that this time.
We
One
have
star.
totally
we're in,
done that
and
before.
Then,
Uh huh. Right.
Right. and
hey,
then the
one
clapping.
podcast. Hey.
Yeah. Thought we tried something new.
We'll do every week.
Hey, it's
Good bad movies, good bad movies. Get 1.5 jocks
jocks
as
as
a
a
robot
robot
job.
job.
Robot job. Bad movies,
Hey.
stay away. Get 1.5 bags. Sonic scale, douchebag.
Twilight is not a good movie.
Disparaging words about Twilight.
We have just like everyone's like, I'm shutting this shit off.
Seriously, we're done. We're done here.
Shutting it down immediately. You guys are assholes.
Yes, Steve like the Bird, the movie with Dane Cook.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
He
the best
is
way
an
to
actor.
describe it. Too.
That movie with Dane Cook.
All right, let's make podcast.
Okay, sure.
Like all that stuff we were jokingly doing. Let's do it for real.
Oh, all right.
No,
So you want us to
no.
sound professional?
Bro.
Nope. Nope.
No, just do it like we normally do it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine then. Can do that.
We don't want to worry about the time. This could be like a 20-minute first half.
Time has
Fuck, I
no
don't-
meaning here.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 241.
What's a number?
241. It's a bargain.
Sure is a number.
A number worth singing, isn't
It
it?
is.
That's a number. When the moon.
When the Baptist you cast like a big something.
I'm a Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do here every
Oh,
week.
yeah, that's my part. Right.
Oh, this movie has completely
I know.
broken everyone's brains.
Oh. So, what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it for the first half.
Yeah.
Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Hooray, robot job.
We like it.
Yay. And the bad movies, as in Stay Away, they get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in douchebags after Twilight.
Boo.
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 Gross.
That is something we do not like.
Terrible.
So,
Yeah.
randomness is the name of the game tonight.
Freedom Month.
Freedom Month. No themes.
The kids went back to school.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But they sent us to detention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we watched 2011's Detention. Mainly because it's directed by Joseph Kahn, the
Director of Torque.
Torque.
So,
The only other movie Joseph Kahn has made.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do the plot summary. What do you say?
Good luck with
Someday.
that, sir.
Okay. As a killer named Cinderella stalks the student body at the high school in Grizzly Lake, a group of co-eds band together to survive while they're all serving detention.
Yeah.
That sums
I guess
up
eventually they get
about
there.
That's a 7-minute
sliver.
chunk, of this movie.
Yeah. First off, this is on Netflix Instant
Yes.
as of
Get thee to your
recording this
Netflix.
in September of 2014.
Right.
So,
Hurry.
all right. We
Get your ass
discussed
to
discussed
Netflix.
this before the show. Almost everything in this movie is a spoiler
Sure.
that we're about to talk about.
As
Yeah.
per usual. But
This
yes.
is an utterly random, insane movie that there is literally no way to predict anything that's about to happen. So, go watch it. That's what I'm saying right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Watch this first.
If you want, like, Torque meets not another teen movie.
Meets Donnie Darko.
Yeah, with some Southland Tales in there. That's our recommendation. Go watch the movie.
If that makes any sense.
Right. If that's what you want in a movie, all of those things.
And if you have ever said you want it,
But it's also, I mean, it's also got elements of,
It
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of.
It totally
Did
does.
you say
As-
not another
as
teen
somebody
movie?
said-
Yeah.
Okay, I just.
as somebody said before the movie, I think it was you, Chuck, you said, all right, on IMDb, it lists every single genre as a genre,
Yeah.
which is accurate.
Yes.
So,
Because for a while there, I was like, there's no sci-fi in this. And I was like, oh, yeah, there is.
yeah. But
oh yeah, there is.
if you have an interest in the type of stuff we watch, and then even then, horror movies, teen movies, random, insane, highly stylized movies, go watch this first
Right.
before you listen to this.
That's your warning.
That's our spoiler warning.
Yeah.
now.
Because now we're just going to talk about all the weird shit in this movie.
Yeah,
I don't know how we're going to do that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that plot summary is such a tiny little piece
it really, like,
of this movie.
I was at the point where I was like, I don't think that's ever actually going to happen.
Well,
Like, are they ever going to be in detention? It was like a good hour.
the longest bit of this movie is the opening pre-credits cold open type thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, before that's the longest it stays the same kind of movie. To the point that, like, as it was happening, I was like, I think I'm gonna have to veto this movie.
Yeah.
I sensed it in the air. I sensed an imminent veto.
It was
But-
coming.
Yeah.
It was coming.
because
If it hadn't, like, gone off the fucking rails as quick as it did, it
Yeah.
was getting.
well, the cold open. I mean, there are moments in the cold open, but it's very much in that. It's like that Easy A kind of wannabe humor. I mean,
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, Easy A is ostensibly humor. This is like dark, weird kind of commentary on modern life. All focused around one girl in her morning routine, talking about how she's awesome at school and awesome at everything else, and how everybody's a loser that's not her, and text, and blah blah blah, and words on the screen.
Yeah.
And then it's like she's doing. I mean, yelling at her mom and brother and everybody around her constantly. With
They basically
with
present
occasionally
us with the least likable
Yes.
character you can possibly
Yes.
imagine.
Right.
But I mean, occasionally still saying funny things where it's like, okay, I obviously hate her, but at the same time, I'm laughing at some of the dumb shit she's saying.
Yeah, there was one joke she said, I don't remember which one it was, but we all sort of broke at it, and I was like, okay, this might pass
Yeah.
the 5-minute mark, because one of the jokes hit.
And then it doesn't take very long. She's like sitting at her mirror, and all of a sudden it's like slasher film, like, evil thing is behind her, and the Cinderella character that she was also just talking about going to see the movie.
Yeah,
the sequel.
she's like super fan of Super Cinderella, and she's like, if you didn't go see it, you're stupid. And
yeah. And all of a sudden, that
And then Cinderella
character is behind her,
kills
and
her.
kills her.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
and then defenestrates her, and,
yeah.
Yeah.
onto the hood of the car where her mom is waiting for her.
Yeah.
And her mom is talking about how much she.
Kind of hates her.
Kinda hates
daughter.
Yeah. It's like, that girl gets away with everything.
But yeah, then we're actually introduced to the hero of the movie. Kind of.
Yes.
Sure.
Basically, ostensibly our main character, who is Taylor, who's basically like the biggest loser in the school. Or wait, no, Taylor was the main girl. Riley is Riley is the girl who's the biggest loser in the school. Taylor was the biggest bitch,
Yes.
who was also the most popular and going to be the prom queen and all
And
that.
now the most dead.
Yeah, and the most dead. And then
Most dead.
Mostly.
we follow Riley around for quite a while, where life shits on her. She's your typical.
She's already got a broken ankle.
Yeah, already got a broken ankle, which you find out later how that happened, and basically just showing you everything that can go wrong in her morning.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think this is where Chuck was getting, like, she's very much in the, like, obviously, like, not another teen movie, like, you're the ugly, unpopular girl. It's like, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, she's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
She's totally hot.
Yeah.
And she's not even wearing the glasses to obscure the hotness.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, girl, you're hot.
yeah.
She's just kind of awkward, and she's a vegetarian. She's a feminist, so she's an outcast.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, she's wearing a white tank top that has written in marker on it. Says this is what a feminist looks like.
Right. Yeah, with Sharpie.
Which, I mean, I think you'd have to. This might be the movie to do the, not to jump ahead, but to do the immersion thing with, because there is absolutely no way I got half of what this movie was throwing out.
Oh, watch it 5 times in
Yeah.
a row? Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
I've already talked to people on Twitter about this. Like, just in between when we finished and when we started, and one guy was like, yeah, the majority of the theater walking out of there despised this movie. And he's like, it took me a second viewing before I realized I actually loved it.
I'm just saying there could
because there's
possibly
no
be
way
themes.
to be prepared for this movie.
Yeah.
There's
None.
There's possible themes going on, and I don't want to. I hate to try to expound upon them because I don't necessarily know that I grasped them all in the first viewing. But I think it's because like she has some issues, and everyone in the current time of 2011 anyway is so oblivious to everything that they're just like, you're a loser because you might possibly care about something.
Yeah.
And we're so self-absorbed that that makes you a loser. Where anyway, we'll get to other parts.
Yeah,
of the movie,
and I mean,
but
there's easier commentary there.
Sure.
One of the characters says the 90s are the new 80s, which
the
will
girl
come
who
up.
gets killed at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, which will come up considerably as a theme of this movie. That basically every movie that loves the 80s, this is the same type of thing, except with the 90s.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of thing is parodied hard.
Oh yeah,
Super heavy-handed with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, when I say like it's not another teen movie in some regards, it's like it almost like parodies the scenes in not another teen movie that parody The Breakfast Club, if that makes any sense. It's
Yes.
like referencing a reference. It's like two steps beyond the. It's like here's what they're going for, but it's been washed through a layer of, someone else doing it first, and then now we're going to also make reference to it. It's
the that I know that
Exactly.
that somebody already did this already.
right. So here's a little tweak to it,
Yeah.
and if you're still with us, then just keep coming. 'cause
well, it even later kind of directly rips off Breakfast Club.
It does,
in a huge way.
But then, like, you could tell, like, they're going for an exact quote, and then they tweak it just a little bit, where it's just like, all right.
Well, and it's not. And the thing about this too is this movie's very funny. Like there are so many funny scenes that are not just like, oh, we're referencing this, so
Wait
you
a minute.
get it.
This is a comedy that we've watched that works, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, because it's not just a comedy, but like,
well,
like when-
90% works. I mean, the comedy
when she misses the bus in the
Right.
morning and then tries to get her dad up to drive her to work,
Yeah.
and he sits up for a minute, goes, nope, still drunk, flops down on the couch, and then they just cut to her walking down the street.
Yep.
I mean, there's jokes like that are just terrific
That work.
throughout the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of almost Parker Lewis in a way, where it's just joke, 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 and they're coming so fast. It's like I need time. I need a little bit of time to process because that joke hit. That was funny, but now you're still going with the jokes, and it's like, come on, just pace yourself.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that also has something to do with what this movie is. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
because it is kind of homaging the '90s, not top tier good teen sitcoms.
Yeah.
I mean that's how it kind of almost plays out the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this really has like that Blossom, Parker Lewis, everything vibe to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
and-
starts being Can't Hardly Wait at one point. It's
But I will say, like, through the credits, like, you've got your introduction with Taylor, the least likable character ever. They get into Riley, and they're introducing characters hard and fast while they're running the credits with their names.
well, and the
Like
credits
showing
are
the name-
practical.
Yeah, the credits are like one guy's name, the Josh Hutcherson, who's in Hunger Games. He's one of the main characters. His name is written on his Converse All-Star shoes.
Yeah.
As he comes by, there's all sorts of stuff like that going on.
Yeah, like the credits
But-
are actually in this universe.
Yeah.
like someone actually texts one on a screen.
I think the best one was the locker, the lock on.
Yes.
The,
Oh,
yeah.
I just
Yeah, it was
thinking
the
about
cinematographer.
somebody etching that onto a lock.
I feel like it was probably a digital effect. It looked really good, but
Who knows?
They went
A
to
lot
a
of the
lot of
stuff-
effort to do
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff. So
yeah, and they're just all sorts of
Yeah.
all over the place. It's like the not trite version of the big floating credits.
yeah.
Well, it's the practical. I mean, I'd love to know what the first movie that ever did it was. I mean,
Well,
I'm sure it's some obscure French movie that we've never heard of or something like
yeah.
that. But I mean, it's like one of the earlier. I mean, I think of like High Fidelity. It was one of the first ones I think of. Like,
Well, the
I mean, like Hard Ticket to Hawaii does it.
yeah,
in the
it
same
was all
way.
in the
yeah,
boxes,
Where it's
not the
etched on all
boxes.
the
Yeah, that's true.
boxes.
That's true.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but it's very off-putting through that first 15 minutes because you have to get used to the clip style that everyone's speaking in, slang that it almost feels like they all made up on set just for these characters to be speaking.
Yeah.
And so
It's introducing characters while giving you the credits, and you're kind of interested in how they're doing the credits, and it's cutting so fast, and it's so many characters are coming on screen. It's hard to decide what it is you're going to be paying attention to.
yeah.
Because they're introducing characters as they're showing you these kind of interesting physical world credits. So it's like watching a demo reel for the first 15 minutes of this movie. It's like, look at all our on-screen graphics, and now we've got real-world graphics, and just, here's a bunch of characters, go, go, go. And it's like, oh, wait.
Well, and it's very much, to me, it feels intentionally to get the whole ADD feeling that everyone figures modern teenagers have.
Right.
Like, they can't pay attention on anything for more than a few seconds. They have to be constantly stimulated with all the stuff. It's like all the cliche stuff that adults say that teens need is exactly what this movie's doing.
Yeah.
And it's doing it in such a stylized way and such a forced way that it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. But eventually it does slow down and then starts to get into the plot, kind of.
The first series of plot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
where
plot.
it's... I mean, should we just go over the characters?
Kind of.
There's Riley, who's the main character, and we'll say, like, Josh Hutcherson, you'll recognize him if you've seen Hunger Games or any commercials for Hunger Games. Dane Cook is the principal, and he's not as Dane Cookish.
Yeah,
like,
he's all right.
But it's
the only man who could rein in Dane Cook.
Yeah. Well, it's because they intentionally play him as this sad sack loser, but he's not like he's like the sad sack loser that's got a little bit of power, and so he's just gonna flex it as far as he can flex it.
Well, they play it a lot like the principal from Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
I mean he was obviously cool at some point, and now he thought he was cool at some point, and he's just
so you're technically in the Breakfast Club. I believe that was the vice principal.
Vice principal, whatever. I am not a true 80s kid. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But now Dane Cook was in Torque, right?
He was.
Didn't he have that weird...
He had that weird cameo scene.
where it's just like, hey, Dane Cook is in this. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he must be friends with Joseph Kahn.
Sure.
But
someone's got to be.
And apparently Kahn pretty much produced this by himself. So
You could tell no one was really fucking with his vision.
No. It's a very singular sort of thing.
There's no studio interference on this. To the point where the movie has no opening logos at all. It is
Detention.
It's just
title
bang.
and then movie starts. Because we were like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Is this a trailer?
I kind of get a bit of an Edgar Wright feel to this. Like,
Scott Pilgrim was coming to mind.
Strong
watching
style.
This. Yeah.
And
obviously not as kind of focused and
and it's effects that aren't used for like characters. They're used all to just enhance little bits and weird things. Like if you want something weird, that's where you use the CG in this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, so you got Riley, who's ostensibly your hero with a limp, with her cast, and the put upon girl who's supposed to be the ugliest, least popular girl in school, but and then and Clapton, who's Josh Hutcherson, is like, he's skateboarding through the halls. People are like, hey man, how's it going? He's kind of like the Spikowski almost.
Yeah,
he's kind of or Spicoli. Jeez, God, my brain
totally
still not working tonight. But he's kind of like that guy where it's like everybody's like, yeah, you're kind of he's kind of a loser, but we all put up with you.
Yeah, kind of a lovable weirdo.
Yeah. And then there, like, you wouldn't recognize anybody else, but there's the jock who gets his own completely insane story.
Holy God.
That continues through the movie. There's his ex-girlfriend who is now suddenly dating Clapton, and of course the jock wants to beat him up for this. And the ex-girlfriend, who also happens to be or was Riley's best friend, which was not clear at all in the beginning.
No, not even that they knew each other.
Yeah, it was odd.
And there's a whole bunch,
bunch of ancillary characters that won't really matter, and we're just not going to get into them because there's too much going on in this movie.
Yeah,
but they each have their own little storylines that are happening as the movie's going on. So
the only other guy who matters is the football coach.
The football coach is is what people should be focusing on.
Yeah, he's goddamn awesome.
He was in Out of Sight, by the way.
I saw that.
He was Jaime, Don Cheadle's protege. But
yeah,
he only gets a scene where he gets kicked in the balls and hit in the face with a book, and then his scene is over.
That's too bad.
Yeah, because he's used awesomely in this movie. But again, I don't even know where to start.
I don't think
she gets attacked at school for one, and we're not sure if it's real or not.
Well, this is after she's tried to hang herself.
Yeah, she decided she was going to end her life in the middle of the hallway, and then
Wasn't that
because
like
she
midway
lost-
through the movie, though?
It was kind
No,
of like
it's-
25 minutes into it
Yeah.
because there was a lot of
Yeah, because early on, like it's a lot of her being shit on. It's and then her, I guess the guy who's kind of like her friend and also Clapton's friend.
yeah, he's the ducky of the movie.
Yeah,
A bit, yeah.
He's the
yeah, Sander, who's
Yeah.
just kind of
he's like everyone's friend, but not really. He just pops up when they need to converse with someone.
yeah, but like a super pervy version of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
So
don't know.
Ducky. Yeah.
Like the fire sprinklers go off at one point, and he's just talking to Riley, and he's just like, "Wet t-shirt, click."
yeah,
She's like immediately slap.
yeah. But
There's
yeah,
some- yeah.
So there's that. She loses, and he won't stop showing the photo. Like he accidentally texts the photo to her, or texts it to somebody else.
Oh, I meant to send it to
Yeah, and then he won't stop looking at it while he's talking to her right next to her.
Right.
But there's that. She loses a debate to a Canadian. She's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Which becomes a big character trait for her. But she's a vegetarian who loses a debate to the world's angriest Canadian.
Yeah.
I gotta know who that Canadian guy
He
was.
makes a point about
Gord.
chickens exploding or something to
Yeah, says she has no sympathy for chickens, and that's why he only eats baby seals,
animals.
baby cows.
they haven't been
because they
alive
have-
long enough.
You need to find that debate scene and watch it
Yeah.
if you're not going to watch anything
Like if
else.
you're going to
from
do a
this movie.
monologue in an acting class, that's probably the one you should do. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, but his debate is so convincing that she eats a hamburger at lunch.
Oh yeah. It's just cut to her staring at a hamburger like,
Yeah.
well, fuck it, I'll eat this hamburger.
Oh, he says she doesn't have the confidence to eat meat, and so she's all feeling shitty, so she goes and eats meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants the confidence,
then decides to hang herself.
Yes.
and then
yeah,
decides to.
and then decides to hang
later.
herself, which
Yeah,
is when
like
she is
a
attacked by
half hour
Cinderella.
later.
Yes.
Or
It's,
it's not made clear.
no.
It's Cinderella,
Yeah.
or someone like.
But she
her.
does get cut down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
They cut the rope.
We have to at least talk about some of these Cinderella fight scenes, because it's goofy, clumsy, like
It's highly choreographed, violent attacking stuff. It's like slash and duck and dive and, they're all very...
it's exaggerated.
Yeah, but they're coordinated like giant blade, like slash, you jump, and it's
Yeah, and
They're honestly, I mean, they mentioned it several times throughout the movie. It's very much like Scream. I
Yeah.
mean, Scream, if you remember, that the Ghostface killer got kicked in the balls a lot,
Right.
throughout the course of the movie. Like,
yeah.
yeah, and it's
Well, and the fights are
And-
really sloppy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they feel kind of like almost like a real fight, unlike most horror movie fights.
Right. But then, like, when they show clips of the movies, the Cinderella movies, they're totally Saw.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
And, like, just ridiculous. Just, like, heads exploding and mechanical traps and shit. I mean, it's
Yeah.
but it's also kind of implied that there's slashery bits to
Oh, sure.
Cinderella as well.
Sure.
It's-
I think there
Yeah.
could be a drinking game with things that explode in this movie. Like,
yes.
God, yes.
living-
It does
living
become
organisms.
it becomes just a running gag of just like, here's the thing, oh, it exploded.
Yeah, but I just love that he cuts her down, she hits the floor, and the bell rings, and everyone's just walking around like nothing's happened.
Yeah. And even that becomes a running gag to where the very last time they do that in the movie, I about lost it. When they show up at the end and people just come over and start dancing over them. It's just the best dumb running gag.
Yeah, but she goes outside, and that's when the jock is finally trying to beat up Clapton, and they're about to get in a fight. The police show up, and they're like, "Okay, everybody, your friend Taylor's been murdered." And they're like, "What?" And she goes, "I was attacked too." And they go, "Sure you were, honey."
Well, the officer looks her up
yeah,
and down
just looks
like,
her up like,
nah. No, you weren't. And she's just like, aw.
"Sure you were, honey."
Yeah.
And then they leave, and then everyone just kind of disperses. But the funny part is, when the jock's about to beat him up, he's just like, "I got dibs." When the cops show up, and then Hutcherson walks away from him, and he swings and misses him
Yes.
in midair, like
Yeah.
right next to and the cops just completely ignore that
They're
part.
paying
of
no
it.
attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
She's
then I
like,
think the next time she gets attacked at home,
okay.
and ends up running, like gets kicked out of her window.
Oh, yeah, she runs around in the backyard.
Yeah, runs around the backyard getting chased, and like has to hop the fence with her cast on, and eventually falls in a pool. And there's
dog.
also a Doggist cameo.
There is, and
in
there's an
slow
amazing slow motion like dog jumping and biting at the girl's face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's Raising Arizona.
It's really, it's either really well composited or it's scary as shit.
I'm pretty sure that was probably composited.
The way that, as angry as that dog was.
Oh, yeah.
But holy God. But yeah, so she gets attacked again, talks to the cops, and the cops are just like, really? Like, we saw this movie. They don't come after you. And she's like, what do you mean they don't come after me?
Well, the dude cop is just talking all entirely in fanboy bullshit, just like, just like nuke the fridge and worst complaint ever, and
Yeah. This was the point where it's so referential of everything that it's almost tough to keep up with everything that they're referencing.
Yeah.
In this very scene, and she's like he's making bad references, and she's calling him out on bad references while referencing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This scene, I don't know. This is one of those painful scenes, if you ask me. But
Yeah.
Well, one of the actual problems with this movie is that it's very 2011 centric. Like right when certain buzzwords were starting to pop up, and now they're really, really dumb to hear someone say. So the expiration date on some of these jokes was about 2 weeks.
Yeah, because there's a $,
Yeah.
reference in the beginning,
Right. Yeah.
which is already like, really, who?
Yeah.
I think some of it kind of serves to emphasize how
She
dumb they are.
In the very beginning, she makes a joke about I'm totally into this band and that they'll be mopping floors in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, they'll be
And the
opening on the
Poster's
toilet.
like,
yeah.
hey, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, but at the same time, you still have to. I don't know. You still have to have some reference. I mean,
Sure.
unless you're just making a movie for immediate consumption and
Yeah.
never again.
But I mean, some of it is just like, just lines like, what are you, Lady Gaga, or something like that, where it's just like, that joke just swing and a miss.
Yeah. Yeah, but those, I mean,
They're not many of them, but there are, and they sort of grind the movie to a halt for a good 4 seconds before the next joke comes.
yeah. But I can forgive it because this movie is clearly designed to be a product of its time because of the references it's making.
Sure.
20 years earlier than that, kind of like Back to the Future is a similar thing where it's like, all right, we're referencing this other time period so specifically
Right.
that it's okay to date ourselves in this way.
I get that.
And I think that's kind of my feeling, at least what they're going for when they're doing it. And yeah, so she gets attacked. Cops don't believe her and are just like, whatever, you're stupid.
Yes.
Yeah. And then from this point is when they go on the double date, kind of.
Yeah, they go bowling.
That's right. They go bowling.
And there's a great background gag that starts in that where like one of the characters throws a fry at the other person, and immediately a food fight breaks out in the entire bowling alley. But they just cut away just immediately.
Yeah. And we will say at certain points in the movie they'll reference something like, this is where we find out that they were best friends, that Riley and Ione were best friends. And all of a sudden the screen will go black and it'll have a credit text that'll just say, the story of the breakup between Riley and
but it's
Scott.
this ever increasing goofy string of titles.
Yeah.
Well, they only went bowling after some more people were murdered and they were let out of school.
Yeah.
I think it was this was actually all after the party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Was it after the party?
Yeah, because they were bowling because they were sent home from school, a la Scream.
Right.
And
I thought it was just because of that girl's death.
Yeah, it was. But then the party happens later.
Okay.
No, I think the party happened before bowling. Anyway, because they saw the football coach there, and he was like, they said something like, "Oh, we get out of school, and here's a teacher right here."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Time doesn't exist in this.
And
I
also
know,
they've
that's
made
very true.
her play the part of the school mascot.
Yes.
And because because the girl got murdered in the very beginning, she was the lead cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
So now Ione is the lead cheerleader.
Yeah.
And this is when all her 90s references show up.
Mm.
Because she dances to CNC Music Factory, which the coach absolutely loves and is glad that they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
And starts dancing with her. And yeah, when they're leaving the bowling alley is when the jock comes out and he's like, "Coach, you ready for the football game?" He's like, "Fuck yeah, football! Yeah!"
Well,
and slams the hood of his 1983 Toyota Tercel
There's another little shot in this that I really like is that they don't. I like the little touches that this movie has. It's just like the movie is so schizophrenic that it's like it almost breaks itself sometimes. Is that there's a scene where Clapton and the nerdy kid Skinner, what was his name?
Sander.
Okay,
Sanderson.
Clapton and Sander are bowling simultaneously, and he like immediately throws a gutter ball, and he throws a perfect strike, and it's just kind of in the background, and it's just sort of like, here's your awesome everybody wants to be him kid, and here's the gutter ball 2 feet down.
Right.
Yeah. I just. No, little touches like that. It's like it's really nice.
The attention to detail.
And the fact
in
that they actually probably. I mean, I wonder how many times they had to film that. I mean, who knows? Josh Hutcherson may be actually good at bowling or whatever, but
let's ask him on Twitter.
Yeah,
Josh Hutcherson, are you actually good at bowling?
I can do that. You want me to do it from the BMF?
DJ's on it.
Okay. I'll do it from the official
He's catching
account.
fire in the bowling games.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So there's background jokes, and then there's little jokes that you're not watching specifically for, but there's always something going on in a shot.
Yeah.
So,
but there are excessive amount of visual gags.
Yes.
In this movie.
Yeah, and then once we start learning the story of the jock bully guy, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, because something goes wrong. We get to the big football game. And they hike the ball, and he's got just like glue on his hands all of a sudden, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he runs out, ends up tackling Riley in the bear suit, and then somehow they end up back in the locker room.
Well, now wait, because he has puked several times on the field, and then he pukes on a dude, which starts melting his football helmet. And at this point, I just was like, "Fuck! I don't know what's going on in this movie, but it's fantastic."
Now it's the Fly.
It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they go into the locker room. Some Three's Company-esque fake sexual situations start happening.
Yeah, but this is where he gives his backstory.
He's like, "Do you really want to know the real story of me?"
And she's like, "Well, steroids."
He's like, "I've got fly DNA," and then it's like text on the screen: the unfortunate story of Riley, the football player.
Right.
And
holy God.
This is where we find out.
We were about to find out
that
his abusive father kicked him out of the house because he was playing with the dog in front of the TV.
Yeah.
He goes walking in the woods with, again, doggish cameo.
Yes.
And then sees a meteorite or whatever crash land into the earth, goes up and touches it, and like, "Ooh, ah!" And then something happens, and then
his dog explodes.
His dog explodes. His hand burns. His dog explodes, and then
they just cut to the dog, and the dog's standing there and just blah.
Yes, that does happen.
Pretty much any animal in this movie is going to explode when it shows up
and
on
a
screen.
few people.
Yeah.
But
and then he goes home, and his dad's like, "We got to put your hand in this TV to
Ain't
hide."
no son of mine gonna have no burned hand.
Freak
Ain't no
hand
son of
thing.
mine gonna be a freak.
Yeah.
And from this point, we follow his life with a TV on his hand. He's sitting in class,
A functioning
with the
TV.
on.
Yeah, it's always on.
He's on the. He's
Always
on,
playing football, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the playground swinging the TV at kids who are bullying
Clock's
him.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clock's one. That kid goes down.
Yeah, he gets that kick good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then, like,
it's
one day, Dad pulls the TV off and his hand's okay.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I guess
Yeah.
your hand's fine."
Yeah.
And, yeah. And that's it, really.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the explanation. Other than like he still has fly DNA.
Yeah, but he's having sex with a girl, and then all of a sudden, just like fly wings shoot out of his back.
Yeah.
And Ione said something, somewhere along the lines of the party of, "I knew your sperm wasn't supposed to glow in the dark."
Yeah. And he's like, "Can't believe you said that out loud."
Yeah. I think that's right before he actually goes and gets murdered.
Yeah.
To which Clapton says, "I guarantee my sperm does not go in the dark."
A lot of people are very calm about very strange things in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yes, at the party that all comes out.
Yes.
Because he's still trying to beat the crap out of Clapton. They eventually hit each other a few times, and Ione stops it by saying the whole sperm thing. And he's like, "I can't believe you say that," and then he storms upstairs.
Well, he has a great line in the pre-fight because he's just like, "If your face hurts my hand when I punch it, I'm gonna punch you again."
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you even harder.
Yeah, it's like, what? Yeah, but then the
I think my favorite was the next time you get an X-ray of your teeth, it's going to be an X-ray of your head flying off or something like that.
he's so angry and determined in all of these things he's saying, and none of them make any sense.
Nope.
It's like, is that a threat? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because what's his face? Sander is taking pictures of his teeth for dental records before he gets to the first fight. Yeah, that's why he says the X-ray line.
Yeah. So the Riley obviously likes Clapton. He's with the head cheerleader girl.
Yep.
She tries to she's getting excessively more drunk as the movie's going on, as the scene's going on.
Yeah.
Makes out with Sander just to try and make Clapton jealous. He told her it was a costume party, for one.
Right.
So she's wearing Claire Danes' outfit from My So-Called Life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing his Picard uniform. Yes. And somebody says, I thought you were an ice skater.
I think she said that.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard. He's like, oh, I thought you were an ice skater.
Because when he goes to when she gives him the okay to kiss, and he's like, engage when he goes in. There's enough time for him to say engage and for her to go ew.
And she starts to like recoil, and it's
Oh, it's so good.
And there's another point where she's swigging from just a bottle of vodka the whole time, just a huge bottle of vodka. And during this scene, like they break apart and they pan to him. I guess it's hard to remember the exact sequence, but they focus on him for a second, and he leans in for another kiss, and just as she pulls the bottle of vodka up to her face, and he just ends up with his lips planted against the end of the bottle of vodka.
Yeah, they create this vodka bridge. Neither of them willing to stop doing it.
No.
Yeah. Just dumb gags.
But they generally work.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing thing about this movie. Is
By this point, I was just like, I'm on board with this movie. This is.
And then there's kind of this whole side thing that kind of comes back later in the movie, because like he ends up getting his official LeVar Burton pinky ring stuck on her overalls and rips her overalls off, exposing her breast.
Yeah.
Someone takes a picture, and that becomes a thing.
Oh, video.
That becomes the
video.
reason she gets detention.
Right. Yes,
because
But also-
she's an amateur porn star now.
Yeah, but also on that same video recording is
the murder.
the jock dude getting totally murdered upstairs and all of his various parts falling out onto the barbecue grill.
Yeah, who he happens to get his hand stuck in a TV.
Yeah.
During the whole scene.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
But he gets chopped up.
Yeah.
And drunk Riley's just sitting outside eating a burger off the grill when suddenly his body gets tossed out the window.
Yeah.
Chunks of him get tossed out the window onto the grill.
Yep. And she pukes up the burger. There's a
Yeah.
lot of puking scenes in this movie.
Yeah,
Just a
there
lot
are.
of just.
she just spits that burger out.
No, I know, but still,
There's a lot. There is a lot of puking.
The
There's a lot of
director's
uneating.
credit in
Yeah.
the beginning
Uneating.
is in puke
Yeah.
in a urinal.
Yeah.
So that
So-
should give you an idea.
Yeah.
But the next scene is her at getting detention from the principal, and he's saying, this video had 20,000 views. And then there's a certain point where she goes, well, you guys watched it? And they're like, well, we had to. And the one teacher's like, I didn't. She goes, well, why not? And he just
Which
kinda
is
like,
later explained.
Yes. He gives a little shrug. He's like,
Yeah, because then she is kind of in detention, but not the movie's detention. It's just like she's in a room with like two dudes wrestling, and
I don't know what the hell that scene was,
And
other
that-
than weird.
I think
and
that
kinda
was just
funny.
like an after she's been sentenced to detention thing.
Maybe.
Because she's wearing the same outfit.
yeah, because
But she continues to wear the same outfit anyway. It's one
Right.
of those weird movie things.
but like the teacher who didn't look at the video is in there, and he's just giving her all this Deepak Chopra bullshit, and
yeah.
and
He's just like, you need to value yourself.
yeah, and she's like, oh no, and then she like comes to this weird realization, like, wait, I'm a hot young porn star. This is fantastic, and starts hitting on the teacher, and the teacher's like, I don't think, no, and then it like immediately cuts to
cuts to a dude spanking like with a basket full of flowers.
yeah.
a picnic.
Spanking
Yes.
him.
I think they were going on a picnic.
He
yeah.
hands him flowers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
smacks
hands
his
him
ass,
flowers.
hands him flowers, and then grabs a picnic basket as
Right.
they walk out, and then they
It's-
kiss.
It's like the movie gives you enough information for you to figure it out for yourself, and then smash cuts to here, he's gay. It's like, oh, okay, thank you,
Yeah.
movie. And then they like make out in the background while dudes wrestle in slow motion. And it's just like, okay, we've got it. We've figured out what his character is.
Yeah. But eventually this leads to everyone from the movie, including other side characters we haven't even talked about, being put into detention, and the principal basically going, there's a murderer here. You were all in the video. You're all suspects. And
Stay here until we figure it out.
you're staying here until we figure out. And this is Saturday detention because the prom is that night.
Right.
And then, so they're all accusing each other, and they're going, "Oh, well, it can't be you because you can't even walk right. It can't be you because you're too dumb to pull it off," and all these things. And then they get to the one, they're like, "Well, it must be you," and it's the one black guy who's kind of been in the background but hasn't really said anything.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Well, why is it me?" And they're like, "Because you never say anything. Just take one for the team, man. You know you did it." And he's like, "I didn't kill anybody. I'm just boring."
Yeah. Yeah. This guy's really
like,
good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
They're like, "Okay, you got a point."
Yeah.
And this is when we're introduced to Guy in Hoodie.
Yeah, they kind of keep sneaking him in where he's not obviously
Right.
in the scene, but then he just keeps popping in side spots
Yeah,
periodically.
like you just see him out of the corner of your eye is sort of the
It's
effect.
like, wait, he was there for a second and then not, and then that's when the whole time travel portion of this movie opens up, which they hinted at earlier, because the gay teacher is teaching them physics or something to where their project is to invent a time machine so he can get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So they've
One of the
been,
kids
They bury
takes
it
it
early in
serious.
the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
act.
yeah, right. So we get his story, his whole backstory, and his whole backstory is basically just like, hey, remember all the music you liked over the years?
Well,
Well, that he's been in detention since 1992.
Yeah.
yeah. He's been in detention, and he's been figuring it out. He has never been given permission to leave.
Right.
Yeah, because the principal says, "You're going to detention until I say that you've reformed."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
so they
of
cut
that
to-
pornography that you...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like,
but,
what?
So what they do is they cut to their black screen that says the strange story of
Yeah.
Guy in Hoodie. I don't remember what his name was, but he says his name in the movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and warn everybody right now. This is where we're going to lose you because this is where every bit of information in this movie comes together.
Sure.
So in our
Real quick,
in our,
too.
in our talk right now, we're about to lose you if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
So this is your last chance.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
So
he-
it go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna, it just bounces around for like
Like 3
I
or
don't
4
know,
years at a time.
but it bounces just sort of back and forth through the 90s and 2000s of what detention would have looked like in those years. And
Yeah.
like one year it's people in Von Dutch trucker hats. One year, year it's
2003.
all everybody's all Backstreet Boyed up, and
But it's filmed as if it's one continuous shot of them circling around the room.
yeah, it's I actually really like the way that was done because they'll start off behind his head and then they'll do like 180 degrees and suddenly you're behind him again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he passes in front of the camera again and it switches.
Yeah,
So-
everyone was either Backstreet or Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah, when,
Yeah.
in 1998 they were
It
because
is
it's
a
showing a
schoolgirl
year on screen and the music changes
Yeah.
to whatever pop music was
Yep.
popular then.
And it does like a 360, but you see everybody, or you see him like twice every revolution.
Right.
It's
And he's always
weird.
working on this scientific formula.
Right.
He's just carving it into this desk.
Yeah. But yeah, they get back to 1994, you hear Hole playing
Right.
and everyone's wearing flannel and then you get
Yeah.
to they finally get to 92 when they're leading him in and they're saying you're taking pictures of this pornography. We're not going to have that in our school. And they throw him into the seat, and he says, "You're not here. You're not allowed to leave here until I give you permission to leave." And that's when he looks, and sitting across from him is Ione, trying to mess with her phone, but she's all 90s up,
Yeah.
and she's trying to see why her phone isn't working. And that's when they suddenly jump back to the present, and he goes, "You were here. You were here in 1992." And this is when she explains that her mom decided that in
She
order...
pulled a Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, her mom pulled a Freaky Friday and decided that, okay, if you want to win the dance competition, you need my moves, and
Need
I know
my
how
moves.
to pull it off. And we'll just switch bodies. And you'll go back to 1992.
Yeah.
But they literally have to switch. Like, they have to switch time and body.
Yeah,
Basically.
because it's like you have to
Right.
go back there because if there's two of you here or whatever, it increasingly doesn't make any sense as they're explaining it. But the best part is that the mom in each cut is drinking heavily to where by the time the most important part of this conversation is happening, she is so drunk that it's just like nonsense.
Yeah.
It's- She's just yelling nonsense
Yeah,
words.
but I mean, they're doing all these different things. It's like a montage of, but the conversation continues, and one
Yeah.
of them is them getting bikini waxed.
Yes. That's, I think, when the most important information comes out. And that's when she's the most drunk, where it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, she was explaining like who was hot back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard
Guys,
Grieco.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Luke
then
Perry and
aliens.
Kevin Costner.
Then the daughter makes a wish, and aliens come, take the mom, and then it works.
Which, by the way,
The daughter-
that's the second or third appearance by aliens, because we've also had a story of the bear from
The time traveling bear?
from planet Spitfire or whatever.
Yeah, because it's Grizzly High,
Starfire.
like Grizzly Bear High.
Yes. So there's a whole sequence of just a bear frolicking on some sort of weird alien planet, and a UFO comes down, and it just trots on board.
Yeah.
Takes off. And then
It was called. Wasn't it called The Curious Story of the Time Traveling Mascot Bear?
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
the time traveling bear, I think.
yeah. But yeah, that's that. So this alien appearance to switch their bodies is not the first appearance of aliens in this movie.
And it's not the first mention of aliens either.
Well,
Yeah, no.
the meteorite was
Yeah.
hinted that it was aliens too.
and the newscaster keeps talking about aliens,
Right.
Yeah.
But he gets they cut before he can finish
Yeah.
actually talking about what it
It's
is.
always like this one guy called in and said he had to eat 3 cans of tuna because the aliens made him, and he doesn't even like tuna.
right,
Like
and it's
on this Good Morning Grizzly Town or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
the hell.
And it's weird. It's any of you that follow poker. It's Daniel Negreanu, who's a
Yeah.
World Poker Tour many-time winner, I think.
Yeah. A big-
Jennifer Tilly was busy.
yeah. Oh, it's a shame. She was in a Doggish movie.
She was.
Woof.
I don't know what you're talking
but so
It happened. Yeah, go ahead. Go from here.
yes. So Ione is in 1992.
Uh-huh.
Her mom has possessed the body of the girl,
Right.
of the
Yeah.
of the younger girl,
Yes.
and
That's why she's suddenly like Clapton and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
because she's totally he
Not
makes
it.
90s references, therefore he's the best thing ever.
Right.
And why she's also so well versed in 90s slang and stuff.
Yeah, because they have like a 90s talent show, and she just like super excels at everything. And just like, wow, she really did her homework.
Yeah.
This is really weird.
But yeah, so that when they realize this, they also realize that because the guy that has been there since 1992 in detention has finished his formula, and that they have 9 minutes before the world ends.
9 point.
However-
well,
10 minutes. 10
and
minutes.
then
By the-
9.4
yes.
minutes.
By the time he
However-
explains it all, he's like 9 minutes. But it's not going to end now. It's going to end in 1992 now.
Right.
Yep.
yes,
So
Luckily, there's
they
one
decide.
of the
Yes, they decide that they need to go get in their time machine, which Toshiba,
Yes.
the Asian fellow that's also in detention, has been secretly building inside of the mascot bear.
But he's been like working on.
yeah the entire
Yes, the
time.
entire
Yeah.
movie.
and
Yeah.
we should probably mention
He's holding the bear claw most of the movie.
at this point.
It's not a donut.
At this point, Principal Dane Cook and Gord have been murdered
Okay, sure.
Yes,
during this scene.
Yeah.
Gord the
Oh.
Canadian.
Oh yeah.
Gord the Canadian was murdered with a ceiling fan, which impaled by a ceiling fan blade,
Yeah.
which was still attached to the ceiling fan and stuck him to the door.
Yeah.
So
Which happened in like they were trying to find the they wanted to see Cinder whatever
Hella.
Yeah, Cinderella
they were-
3. So they immediately download the work print from the internet, which leads to this series of movies within movies where it's just like, what in the
it goes.
hell?
We're watching one movie, 2, 3, 4 movies deep.
Yeah.
With like a side movie as well.
Right,
Yeah.
with a porn parody.
Somebody
going on.
watching a porn parody in one of the movies
Yeah.
of that very movie.
Yeah, and that's when like
Which brings us a cameo of Ron Jeremy.
Ron
Yes, of
Jeremy
course.
is a vampire.
With vampire.
bites a woman's breast off. But yeah, so someone dies by ceiling fan in that, and then that's later they cut to Gorder's been also killed by a ceiling fan.
Right.
And
while they're watching this,
on someone's phone,
this
watching
Inception
this work
movie,
print. Yeah.
Yeah, and
but what's funny about the work print is they're watching the work print, and in the movie they're watching a work print of, they're like, let's watch the work print of this other movie, and that's what actually goes like 4 deep is the work prints of each movie.
Yes, it's Torrentception.
Yes.
yeah,
So dumb.
it's so great.
Yeah. But yeah, Dane Cook gets killed.
Yeah, he gets like they show him get killed on screen. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh god, he's dead. Like
no,
Gord,
it's-
you didn't even see it happen.
No.
But
But they wanted to give
best
the audience
part
that
is-
thrill of seeing Dane Cook get
is
murdered.
they all figure out that, well, the time machine works, so we have to get to the time machine, and they burst out. And Dane Cook's body is on 2 different like library carts. Like he's
They're,
laying across
they're
library
janitor carts.
Yeah, janitor carts. And they just push him aside, and his body splits in half, and his guts spill out.
It's
And
like a
they
magic
don't-
trick.
They don't break stride, and they don't even acknowledge
No.
it. They just
Nope.
keep walking right by his body cut in half on top of this thing.
Well, also too, when they're in detention and Gord's hanging from the the door with the ceiling fan, one of the girls in the background of a shot goes up to him and is just fidgeting with something, and his entire lower body just falls off.
Yeah.
and
Not
it's just guts hanging out.
Not in focus. They don't
No.
even acknowledge it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just in the background.
Dumb.
So those. So,
Uh-huh.
God, Clapton and Riley have to go back to 1992 to make everything stop.
Yeah.
To stop everything from getting blown up.
Yes. And they go back once, and they realize that essentially what it boils down to is because the principal, Dane Cook, as a young man, was trying to ask out Ione's mom,
Sloane.
Sloane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she rejected him. He built a bomb and blew everybody up, and somehow that ended time and space.
But in
and
the
everything.
first iteration, he screwed up
Right.
and
Blew up
only
his face.
blew up his face. That's
Which
why
is-
he's got a scar on his
he's had a
face.
scar the whole time.
There's some pretty decent attention to details in some of this
Well,
movie.
they tie up a ton of things that have been background references
Right.
throughout the movie. I mean, they're called out specifically, but
Yeah.
they're not like the point of any scene.
And what's weird about it is that you didn't really need them to be explained. They were just like little details of nonsense, but then like the movie goes out of its way to all of these things. Like they keep saying like someone had sex with the mascot 20 years earlier,
Right.
And so
Yeah.
they show.
Well, they
show
keep
the genesis
referencing
of
like
that.
you may be a big loser, but at least you didn't have sex with the mascot.
right? Yeah,
That's been like the whole thing in the movie.
Right. And there's a picture of somebody bent over in front of the mask.
right. And the picture is taken by the dude who got. That's why he got sent to detention.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah, but we're getting there. Like, I basically like guys like, okay, well, I'm going to blow up the world, and then somehow it still sort of succeeds because they try. I think they run back to the time machine, come back to our time, and it's just smoke and ashes, and they're like, shit, we failed.
Yeah.
We got to go try again. So they get back like 7 minutes before whatever was going to
Yeah, they
happen,
source code
and they're
it a
like,
little
bit.
okay,
Yeah.
we got to figure this out now.
What they haven't figured out is that Sander is the one who has gone back and convinced him because Sander is the one who's been killing everybody.
Yep.
Yes.
And he's convinced the principal that, you know what, fuck him, it's going to be great. And
Yeah.
there's even a line where he says, oh, when you blow everybody up, I'm just going to fucking masturbate so furiously.
yeah.
And he's like, okay, dude. Mm-hmm. All right. But so they realize like that they couldn't talk him. Like they get him, they grab Sander and they take him away.
Mm-hmm.
But Dane Cook's younger body already has enough knowledge to build a bomb, and that's why everything goes to shit.
Right.
And they're like, we must have done it wrong.
Yeah.
So they go back 6 minutes earlier, come back, and that's when they realize that they have to convince Ione, who is in Sloane's body, that she has to go out with Dane Cook
Yeah.
to
She
the
has
prom.
to go to the prom with him.
Right.
Yeah.
And she refuses to do it, and they're like, we have like 45 seconds before he blows everything up unless you do this. So
Yeah, there's no head cheerleader in the apocalypse, right? Or
Yeah.
something like that.
Bless
Basically, that was their explanation of like why it's okay, fine.
So like immediately she's just like all tears, mascara all over her face. Just like, would you go to the prom with me? And she did.
And of course, he starts making demands. He's like, "Well, tongue, full tongue." And she's like, "No, God, okay, fine."
meanwhile, Riley and Clapton in her back are going 15 seconds.
Yeah.
She's like, okay.
Yeah. So he pulls the cord out, and it seems like everything's okay. I think they run back to the time. Oh, they're running back to the time machine, and Sanders like standing there like, "Haha, I have the bomb, bitches!" Hits the button and just explodes like everything else in this movie.
But it just blows him up.
Yeah,
Yep,
just blows
just
him
him.
up.
Just
And they're just like,
pulps himself.
Yeah,
they're just like,
perfectly.
huh.
And then they time machine, and every time they time machine through the bear, they just land flat on their backs in whatever time period. And this is the shot you were talking about. They
Yes.
land in the middle of the prom, flat on their backs, and then people just kind of start dancing right into where they are.
Yep.
And then they're like, "Oh, this is the perfect happy ending," because like the shy guy is leading the band up there, and Dane Cook's awesome cool
Yeah.
guy dating the mom.
But I like how they do it because they fall out and they're playing like some song from 1992 when they come out. So it's a fun little bit of misdirection about it.
Yeah.
right.
Before you realize, oh wait, this is the right time period.
Yeah.
I think.
But like it's the Back to the Future, everything's perfect now. We've
Right.
Yeah.
somehow this one act has fixed everything because Shy Guy's up there and Toshiba and the goth girl have gotten together and it's
And
like
Dane Cook is now married to
The mom,
Ione's
yeah.
mom,
Her-
who
her.
Ione is still in
Right,
the mom's
still her.
body.
and then they're the prom queen and king, so it's like
Yeah,
everything's
Josh.
perfect.
PETA and other
Yeah.
girl.
PETA and the vegetarian.
Yes.
Which I love when the when the one teacher comes out to introduce the king and queen. I'll just
He goes,
just like, now introducing the king and queen. It's just like, well, okay.
well, doesn't he say, I don't know why I did that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like movie really goes for that joke.
I really thought that was Johnny Shake the first time he showed up.
Yeah, he did look like him.
Yeah.
Shakes.
I thought we were gonna get shaken back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Understood.
yeah. So, but they're like, all right, great, happy, and it's playing that fucking song that's like
Fields of Gold.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they've been
There's
referencing
a
the whole
whole-
movie.
Is that how that's really that song, the instrumental part?
He knows all
Yes.
the words to Field.
Yeah.
It's
all
like,
mandolin
I
bullshit.
know the police. I don't know Sting. Fuck
Okay.
it. All right. Anyway, but you hear that shit
He
like
knows
the
all
end
the
of
words
movies.
to post police sting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Well, I know.
Yeah.
Pre-post whatever.
Well, that's
Yeah.
I mean
Pre-posting.
that does lead to such a good joke when he because PETA Josh Hutcherson has been dating technically the mom
Yeah.
and not the
Right.
daughter.
Right.
So then when he mentioned something about Sting and she's like, "Ew, what the fuck are you talking about?" He goes, "I knew it was too good to be true."
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they just keep going on it.
Yeah.
But they're playing that song and like it's welling up like it does in so many fucking movies to the point that finally she's like, I can't think with this fucking song playing.
Right.
yeah.
Thus being the self-aware. But anyway, the big climax of the movie is that somehow Sander is not dead and now he's back and
Well, they say we fixed everything, but something feels wrong.
Yeah.
And that's immediately when they get attacked. And
Well, they pass a sign, like an in memoriam sign, and like Gord and someone else they're still
still
dead.
yeah.
And that's when Sanders, like in a Men in Black suit there. And
Yeah, he's at the dance, but he's looking angrily
Yeah.
at the two of them.
I kind of felt like this movie hit an end. It was like, okay, that was all
A happy ending.
crazy, goofy nonsense. Time to wrap this up. And then when he showed back, I was like, oh, really? Let's not keep going with this. But it pays off kind of well because they've been having this sort of running debate between the skills of Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse and Steven Seagal in Under Siege, which then leads to kind of a spirit animal fight between the two of them with a kind of ghostly Patrick Swayze and a ghostly Steven Seagal cheering them on. And
we didn't even mention when they were in 1992 that it was the bear that she was trying to open up the time machine that got the picture taken where it looked
Yeah.
like she was blowing
Yeah,
the
because
bear.
the door had jammed. So she's on her knees
so she,
in front of the
it
bear.
actually was
Yeah.
her. She was
Yeah.
the biggest
she
loser
was the
of all
one,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
that's
but
when dude came in with the Polaroid cameras.
Yes,
like,
the spirit
"What a
animal
scoop!"
fight of Patrick Swayze and Steven Seagal happens, and then basically, I don't know, PETA gets knocked the fuck out, and then she ends up somehow knocking him up into the bear's teeth, which...
Well, the magnet.
the magnet
The
thing.
thing has been shown to have like electromagnetic
Why? Well,
Well,
properties.
that's what Toshiba couldn't figure out. He was just like, "There's some sort of magnetism coming out of. I
Yeah.
can't figure this part out." And then he's trying to kill them with an axe, and that's when it pulls him
Yeah.
back.
And he gets impaled on the teeth, the
Yeah.
grizzly teeth.
Yeah.
and Gets a grizzly
yeah,
death.
and they're like, "Oh,
Yep.
That's actually the least grisly death.
I know.
Is the grisly death?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, his explosion death was worse.
yes, that was
Yeah, they say something like, I guess there's not going to be any more murders here. Happy. Now we actually have a happy ending.
yeah."
Yeah.
Credits.
Because they
Well,
go back
no.
into the prom, and that's when they're covering Mbop.
Yeah, that's when they
right,
dance
sorry,
to
yes.
Umbop.
and all the characters just jam out to this song.
Yeah. But after that, she's kind of narrating the end of the film because there have been certain points where she's been speaking directly to the camera.
Yeah.
Breaking the fourth wall and all that. And she's just saying how, everything's great. We finally figured it out. And they're watching the news. And that's where Gord is standing there. And he goes, actually, we are an alien race of plants. And we're very angry at all you vegetarians
Yeah.
who have
All
been
you people
murdering,
eating our brothers.
Yeah.
eating our brethren. And we've come to eliminate all of you
Yeah.
for this sacrilege or whatever.
Yep.
And says the alien invasion has begun.
Yep.
And in the background, all the lights are flashing while they're just sitting there watching TV. And then that's how the movie
Yeah,
ends.
that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got so good.
Well, we got to rate it. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
we-
actually somehow talked about this longer than we should have.
I got a rate, but I got a rating.
Somebody go.
Oh,
Not me.
Well, I'm telling you now, it's 5 jocks for me. I fucking absolutely loved this movie. And I understand it's either 5 bags or 5 jocks, and there's very little in between. I will say, when they were amidst the time travel, it was starting to drag a little bit, because much like you said, Chuck, where it's like, maybe we're done. It's like, are we done? Because
I kind of felt like it was
because
done.
it felt like because that part isn't as funny
Yeah.
as everything else, and the other sections had really well spaced jokes, but it very quickly made up for that for me.
Mhm.
And it's just one of those movies that just clicked for me immediately, kind of like Scott Pilgrim did. And once I had bought in, it's kind of weird in that it took a while for it to rewire my brain to go where it wanted me to go. Because there's a certain point where you just let go of that movie and you let go of trying to figure out where the fuck anything is going. Because I think I realized it when the jock turned into a fucking fly monster, is that you could not predict where this movie's going. And that's kind of the movie's key to let you know, don't bother. Just don't bother, because you probably are not high enough to figure out what we've thought of for this movie.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those, like, go for broke. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing this the way I want to do it, and I don't give a shit about anyone else. And I think that's what I love about it so much, is he's like, you know what? A lot of people are going to hate this, and I don't care. There's enough people that are going to love it, and I'm one of those people. To me, this is a 5 Jocks movie. And I know that's probably not going to be shared by anybody else, but
I'll say
I had a ton of fun, and I can't wait to watch this again.
I also had a ton of fun with this movie. After a point, I was kind of sitting in stunned silence like the rest of us for a good opening chunk of this movie. I'm going to give it 4 Jocks, but I'm going to do it with a condition, and the condition is I reserve the right to come back to it and change that, because I am going to watch it again now, knowing what kind of mindset I need to be in the first third of this movie. Because none of us were prepared for what this was.
I don't think any of us had any idea.
No, we just knew.
We just knew it was the guy who made Torque.
Yeah, and I mean,
Torque's awesome.
Torque is awesome, but Torque at least is a movie. Like, you can kind of, like, before it gets, motorcycle, kung fu, Mountain Dew crazy, it's just dudes posturing and doing dumb male bullshit. This is never that. It's always like, this is kind of parody, but kind of not. But everyone's super sincere about what they're doing, and so I really dug it. I dug the jokes. I really liked the fact that whenever the dialogue got super serious in kind of romantic way, that they did a riff on the True Romance score every single time. Mm-hmm. I thought that was probably my favorite part. I don't know. I really liked it. I could see myself going higher on it. I just got to come back to it at some point, knowing what I know now. Now that my life has been changed by this movie.
I pretty much in the same boat. It's definitely 4 Jocks. I said that I cannot wait to foist this movie upon people. Like, I can't wait to just, like, sit a bunch of people down and go, okay, are you ready for a movie? This is going to be great. And, like, sit on a director's chair in the corner with a notepad and watch what happens to people while they watch this movie. It's kind of brilliant in the way that it is, I think, what movies like John Dies at the End and the one about the newspaper ad, what's it called?
Safety Not
Guaranteed. And
you called it Rubber at one point.
It has some of the sensibilities of Rubber, where it's just...
It's its own thing.
It's just off on a...
Yeah. It's like, that self-aware movie thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's described, there's a quote on Wikipedia that it's Scream meets Scott Pilgrim with a dash or two of Kaboom. I don't know what Kaboom is, but Scream meets Scott Pilgrim is definitely a strong feel for it.
Yeah.
Because it's got kind of that frenetic energy and the sort of jokiness and wackiness in a grounded place of Scott Pilgrim, like just that sort of feel of that world. But it's
I know
it is so nutty, and like it takes a little bit to get into, but once you realize that it's as batty as it's gonna be, like if you can get past the first 10 minutes, or if you can realize in that opening sequence that this is building up a joke, and where it's going to go from there is sort of lunacy magic, then you'll be fine with it. And I think I also would like to reserve the right to at least talk about later how I should have given it a higher rating, or I would give it a higher rating if I allowed myself to.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm going to say about this, because we've already talked a lot. And Harlow,
okay,
give me a rating.
When did I become the negative person on this?
You
cast?
are a negative.
No.
Nancy.
Hold
been a while.
on. I want to preface this with
Actually,
I want to preface this with
actually,
like you said that you think that this movie is either a 5 jocks or a 5 bags. I don't know that there's ever been a movie that we've watched that I have been more equally divided on. Like, I don't really cop out to the true neutral at all ever, but I really feel like that because there are things about this movie that I really, 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 really like. There are a couple things that I really, really, really hate, and I think that I'm going to the slightly positive side of the bags to jocks scale because I think the things that were good were better than the things that were bad. Because I got, obviously there was a very strong Donnie Darko theme to be had here. There's the kinetic, like, done with less grace of a Edgar Wright thing.
definitely.
And sadly, a little bit more of the Richard Kelly. Like, there were times when I felt like this movie was shooting for that. Like, this is my masterpiece. I am making my masterpiece because nobody is holding me back. And then I felt like it would pull back and go, no, it's really not. I'm just dicking around here. Like, I got some money, I got some friends, we're making a movie. It's not this, we might delve into serious territory, but then we're just fucking around. Like, so I like that because, like, Richard Kelly never had that self-aware sense of humor of, like, I'm kind of an egotistical asshole who's trying to rise above where I probably really am.
Right.
So, but then there was, like, moments of dialogue and things that would happen that was like, I hate to say it, but, like, almost like spoof movie quality. Like, I mean, like, something, fill in the blank movie. Like, some of the scene, like the scene with the fanboy cop and, like, going all the way down to the Ron Jeremy level was like, really, guys? Like, really? Like, I get it, but then I don't. Like, like, I think you've taken this joke one step too far.
Right.
All that being said, I'm going to give my rating. I'm going to sit at 2 jocks. I am going to watch this movie again.
You better.
I'm glad we all agree on that.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe if I can, like, get over the first 20 minutes where I honestly felt brain dead, like, where I was, like, thinking I was actually having a stroke because there was so little I was understanding, that might help. And also just kind of knowing what movie it is going into because, I thought it was going to be a high school slasher movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like, in that first 20 minutes, there's a lot of teen psychobabble at ludicrous speed.
Yeah.
So I didn't kind of catch or understand everything that was being said. I was just like, this is happening. They're talking about, okay, it's texting and 90s at the same time running together.
Yeah.
It's like Tumblr. So
there were a couple times I didn't know when this movie was taking place. Like, looking at a few things, I was like, okay, you take the technology out of this movie, I don't know when this movie is. Because so many characters are so 90s up in this, I'm like, is this a flashback? What's happening?
Here's the other last thing I'll say, and then we really need to move on. We talk about movies without an audience. I don't know who this movie's audience is because, like,
me.
Yeah,
I think. Well, like,
who would you
say that? You say that,
I
but,
know,
like,
but
we're literally, without joking, we're the true '90s kids. Like, we're the people that would see that and go like, oh, they just did the Fresh Prince high five thing. Like, people, like the kids today, unless they're like, they are the, like, this is the shit we're binging on in reruns.
Yeah.
You know that, like, we are going through that phase that we went through.
Okay, that's fine.
Where, like, in the 90s it was the 70s, and in the 2000s it was the 80s, and
so
in
the kids now that are
the 90s,
with the texting and the things, and they're
getting into the 90s
they're
shit.
James
Like,
Franco, they're James Franco watching the Jeffersons now.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
They're getting into Doug and
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I mean,
Rugrats.
It feels weird because, like, I got the 90s stuff. Believe me, I got the 90s stuff. But then, like, some of the newer stuff, I'm like, I have a smartphone. I get that.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't get
it. Does it kind of feels like it's going to sound strange, but American Reunion, which is, like, not a movie that really needs to be visited by anybody or anything, but it's kind of like if you're in a very specific age range, that's its target. And it feels like this one has people our age that were born in, the mid 70s, and then it's got kids that were born in the late 90s, mid 90s. And it's kind of like those are the two groups.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, anybody in between is going to be like, what the fuck? But, like, the people, like you said,
True 90s
recognizing the Fresh Prince stuff, like all of all of those things were just like, yeah, fuck yeah. Oh my god,
when they did
yeah, that's exactly
when
it.
they did the flashback to the 90s, like the 90s high school.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god.
Yeah. When everyone had dreads and
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
god, the white guys with dreads.
I hate to say it, but like
It was like my high school.
I'm sure that was the intention of like, let me show you this foreign thing to you, you true 90s
Yeah.
kids. Let me show you this modern day high school, and maybe that's how it really is. I don't fucking know. Haven't been to a high school in a long time.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the hell are they saying? And then yes, they go, they flash back to 1992, and I'm like, fuck, I get this is my high school. Like
Yeah.
literally, like I was just like,
Yeah.
as foreign as all that shit was, I was like, yeah, it's a little bit of the hot tub time machine. The entire 90s is in this high school in this hall at this one
Yes,
time.
right.
But I mean, at the same time, I'm like, they're walking down the hallway. I'm like, yeah, I get all of this.
Yeah.
This all makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think all movies have to be made for all people.
No,
I mean,
no.
you look at Scott Pilgrim. There are so many people who could never watch Scott Pilgrim because they would just be like, "What is happening?"
My mom hated that.
See, yeah, I mean, there's just, and obviously that's this movie's problem. It had no like distributor or backing of any kind. So, but I'm happy it got made.
Yeah.
I'm glad it exists, even
like-
if no one I know ever watches it or likes it.
I would consider buying this movie just because
Yeah.
it's
yeah, if I could
such
support
a
this
weird
movie, sure.
thing to exist, and I like it.
I can't wait to show it to my wife and have her be angry at me and hate it.
Oh man,
I'm also looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Your wife.
Yeah.
you're looking forward to showing it to his.
No, I'm hearing stories of.
Or she'll
His
just
angry
do the
wife.
Scott Pilgrim thing and be like, that was a very you movie.
Probably.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. We
that's
can
always
love it.
fun.
You and me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
All
then
right.
me.
Well, let's
But no,
let's get.
It's great. You need to watch this movie.
Yeah. Let's get on to the second half, though. We really.
Okay.
Okay.
Second up. Second up. Second up. Josh Hutcherson hasn't responded to us.
Son of a bitch.
I really should have brought in the timer.
Steve, like the bird says, as someone who is in high school now, the modern day high school is pretty accurate.
Okay.
So there you go.
Wait,
So it's
Steve
just-
like the
and-
birds in high
it's
school?
just kinda-
Yeah.
You shouldn't be listening to this.
It's kind
show.
of.
I know.
Yeah.
You
So it's just kind of people
'Cause we say
being
fuck too
shitty
many times.
to
Yeah.
each other.
It's like our high school, only with modern technology.
Well-
it's just
well,
people
we were
being
I like how
shitty.
21 Jump Street.
Everyone's shitty in
Approached
high
it.
school.
Yeah.
But we were shitty to each other's faces. Now it's shitty.
Yeah.
Oh come on, we were
No,
we
we
were in our
They have
cliques
a-
being shitty to other people.
Yeah, but they have a scene where he says, "This isn't working. Let's talk through text."
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
He does. Yeah.
But yeah, but I like the way 21 Jump Street did it, where they had older people who are like, "Yeah, I know how high school works," and they go there and they're just like, "What the fuck happened?" They're like, "Wait."
using one strap?
Well, yeah. Well, they're also just like, "Wait, all the dorks run the school now? Like the jocks are the outcasts? What the fuck?"
Yep.
So
This movie is $9 on Blu-ray.
Somebody caught my fact that I said Quaaludes,
Mhm.
which haven't been around since 1978.
Yeah.
yep.
Quaaludes are a thing that totally fell off.
Only Christophe Lambert
Yeah.
uses them
Yes.
still. He's still got that stash.
Yeah, he's got a whole mason jar full of
All
Quaaludes.
of the Quaaludes.
I have Quaaludes.
I want some Quaaludes.
There's no such thing as Quaaludes anymore.
Christophe Lambert bought them all in 1978. Somebody get on Twitter and ask Christophe Lambert if he bought all the Quaaludes.
He's not going to cop to that.
Chris Lambert.
Yeah, good old Chris Lambert. I wonder if there are any extras on this Blu-ray.
Man, I hope so.
Because just like Torque, I want to own this movie on Blu-ray. Boom, bop, skiddly bop, bop, doo, bop, bop, skiddly bop, doo, bop, yay, doo, bop, 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 doo, bop.
Yeah, let's just text on our phones.
Yeah.
Let's be like in high school. I could not imagine what high school would be like if we had all had phones back then. It was like the rich kids had one in their car,
Yeah.
but that was it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the fact that,
how
like,
did we get together and do stuff? Like, it's one of those things. Like, I just can't remember how it worked. You know, like, did you just say, "I'm going to meet you at 9:00 here," and then you hope they showed up?
I think so. I think we just made plans.
Like, I remember getting a
vocally.
flat tire and having to walk to like a gas station to
Yeah.
find a payphone
Yeah.
to call somebody. Oh man, God. The 90s sucked.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible.
No, they were pretty awesome, actually. I love the fact, too, that we just didn't even call out 100 things that are in this movie. Like, when she lands in the 90s and goes, oh, I love it here.
I know.
Because the one girl, like, berates her for having corporate clothing on.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about your marathon, or how do you want to handle that?
I'm not going to talk about any of it.
And none of it? You sure?
Yeah. Unless someone else asks me about it.
I can talk about Spider-Man 2.
Totally should.
Yeah. And I can talk about Kurtzman and Orsi and
Oh, yeah.
those fucking guys. I hear singing and
Yeah, what's happening
dancing
out there?
crap out there.
What?
What's going on here?
My life. My fucking
Oh.
I'm high on believing as the second high.
Fucking finish that shit.
So is anyone else going to have time to talk about movies? Chuck?
I'm not going to talk about it. 'Cause- Unless someone has a question for me, because I mean, no one wants to hear that.
What?
I will say, if none of you have seen Ricochet, you need to see Ricochet.
Is that
Oh,
the one
I've seen
where-
Ricochet.
Is that the
That's
one?
Denzel and John Lithgow, right?
Yeah, that's where he gets naked in the beginning when he's talking the person down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a long.
I
It's a
talked
weird-
about that like 30 podcasts ago. Whatever, old news.
I've seen it a long time ago.
What
It's
did we
really
talk
good.
about? 30?
Ricochet.
Well, that's come up a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I briefly mentioned
I think we talked about it as in like terms of should it be a BMFcast movie, and I think we kind of shot it
'cause I
down.
watched it and I remember we
Yeah.
actually talked about it.
But it is a big dumb movie.
It's
I mean, it's
Fun.
really big and really dumb.
It's our type of big dumb movie,
yes,
right? Okay.
yes, like
So, like,
one-liners and
you know what we need to be thinking about?
tell me,
Episode 250.
is that going to come in the middle of Maltober? It is, isn't it?
No, we got 9 episodes. This is 41.
Yeah. Oh, so it's the one after Maltober.
You're going to make me do math.
Yes, please.
Thanks, Gillian.
What is our posting day?
What do we do for our sesquicentennial?
What is
Supposed to
it?
be-
What, do we have a posting
It's
day
supposed to be
anymore?
Friday.
Okay.
It's Fridays
Well.
in theories.
Yeah.
So
Looking calendar-wise,
Mondays.
Fridays.
All right. So 41, 42, 43,
6,
44,
12,
45,
97,
46,
X.
8. We'll be in the second week of November.
thanks, Killing.
No, God, have you seen?
No. I obviously haven't seen it.
Watch the first 45 seconds of that movie. You'll
Yeah.
go, nope.
I know Thanksgiving will get that'll get 5-minuted. 100%.
That's like the Insane Clown Posse movie we tried to watch.
Boy, oh jeez.
Something.
I still
wrestlers.
think
big money wrestlers, hustlers, rustlers.
I do kind of feel
Restless.
bad that we
Yeah.
bailed on that.
I
but-
kind of Chuck, let's get together and
Okay,
watch.
all right, we'll get
Big
some
Money
beers.
Rustlers. Yes.
Is this going to be like a Sunday? Like instead of wrestling, you're just going to get
Yeah, maybe we'll have
ICP movies.
ICP Sundays.
Oh, do you want?
Oh, you can watch WCW reruns on,
Yeah,
on the network.
Yeah,
with-
the Insane
together,
Clown
too.
Posse
Yeah.
fighting Hootie Hoo, and
Do you want to watch a couple Insane Clown Posse movies on a Sunday and I got a bottle of rum. We'll just
I like where this is going.
You got any Fago?
no,
You're not going to spray it everywhere?
no, and then
Thought
we'll
that's
do
what
a
you did with
then
Insane
we'll,
Cloud.
then we'll do a no pretense of
People are
cool.
dead to me.
So you can find the debate, by the way, if you didn't look in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
You can find the debate by searching "organic" with a K, Organic's debate speech in detention.
That is
and
not
that-
the account I want.
The actor that played Gord is Organic, who is a musician. He is a rap battler, and apparently he's fairly good in Canada, which means he says very
in
well.
Canada, which means
Pretty
he's
good for a
mid-tier
Canadian.
here.
Yeah, which means like rap battles in Canada are not like rap battles here. They're
Yeah.
put downs
Right.
and talking about your mom.
Canada's
in
about
Canada, it's
back
about
bacon.
It's about
you know,
beavers and maple syrup.
No, it's about I'm very sorry that I stepped on your toe. I'm also very sorry that I called you a hoe.
Have a beer, eh?
Sorry. Like how you said that.
Have a Molson, don't drop it on the flow. I'm very, very sorry, don't you know?
Oh, I get it.
Coming straight out of Toronto.
Yes.
Yo.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I got a movie.
Cool.
Do you have?
I have a brief movie up to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brief.
Very brief.
Okay. You got anything?
No.
Do you want to talk briefly? Anything? No. Okay.
I finished
Well, how
Community. Did
new
I
is
tell-
your movie?
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that's pretty new.
I'd say so.
All right.
New to blue.
All right, because
Red.
only because I think
A.
it'll
It's
I want
Canadian
to
rap for you.
I want to mildly transition off of the first half movie without talking about it anymore.
Okay.
And let me just get mine out of the way. I know yours is like new, but so is
Yeah,
mine.
that's fine. Whatever. Hey, man.
No, I just have.
There's
I have
no
a-
rule.
I have
Hey,
a-
man, it's
I-
your life.
I have a good segue. That's all.
All right. Do your segue, and
Okay.
we'll be cool.
All right. And then I'll move right on and pass it on.
Yes, you'll sling it along.
I will. All right, are we good? It's good.
Yeah, we're great. Got a lot of mail, by the way,
Okay.
and a voicemail. Just
already got it.
okay, cool.
All right, we'll go back.
Hey! BMFcast second half.
Second half.
Brought to you by us.
And halves.
Brought to you by
Right.
Joseph Kahn.
Halves.
So, okay. I want to do a quick segue, talk about a movie that I watched. I know that we all can't wait to foist this movie upon people from the first half. And I think the first person I will be showing it to is a big fan of ridiculous and mind-bending movies, and that is Shiny Lights Tistro. So sometimes, as I foist so many movies upon him, he occasionally does send some my way, like John Dies at the End. He pretty much for about 3 months kept saying, like, please watch this movie, and finally I gave up and was like, fine.
Gave up.
So the latest one that he shoved my way after all of my moaning and complaining is he insisted that I watch Sharknado 2, the second one.
Did you watch the first Sharknado?
I watched about
He and Chuck-
20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
I made about 20 minutes in. He insisted that this one was better in every conceivable way.
It's not hard.
This one's more self-aware in every conceivable way.
Yes. It is better. I will give it that. I made it all the way through
Ooh.
without leaving or shutting my eyes or anything else.
Okay.
I've realized this movie became painfully clear. Like, they replaced any need for any kind of story or anything like that with cameos. There are cameos galore, people saying, I wanted to be in Sharknado 2. And some of them are funny, some of them are like, wow, I can't believe you actually got that person to do this, to say the word Sharknado or whatever. Some of them is just like, all right, why? I don't know. It's there. The thing, all right, we've had this discussion before about how asylum films are kind of failing in the Roger Corman, like, why don't they let better directors, this be the minor leagues?
Yeah.
And it continues still, because I do not understand. The thing that I've realized that why I kind of hate asylum films is they have absolutely no idea what pathos is. Like, it's like, especially in a movie like this, it's just like, there's a kill, and then it's just like, people are like, huh, that was a CG thing that I didn't see. Let's keep running. And like, and it's just like, the thing about like old Friday the 13th movies and Nightmare on Elm Street is it's like, it was interesting. Like, if you're going to have a movie about deaths, you have to like care.
Yep.
You can't just be like, here's a person that is a person from this person's past, and now they just got crushed by a shark. Yay. By a CG shark.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that. Moving on.
It's like their characters aren't actually in the movie.
Right.
They're detached from the story that's happening. And that's it takes away a level of connectivity with the audience. You
Well, to me, their entire thing seems to be, hey, isn't that clever? And that's it. there's nothing more to it than, hey, wouldn't it be clever if we did this?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, clever doesn't mean it's funny. Clever doesn't mean it works.
Yeah.
It's just clever. And sometimes, like, clever is a thing that has to have other stuff behind it. You can't get by on just clever alone.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are moments in this where it's like, okay, all right, you win for that shot or that idea. Good job. But for the most part, yeah, it's not really that much better. I mean, it is better, but
Yeah, for the most part, they're the only ones making like monster movies at this point, and especially they have like a catalog of like Godzilla-esque monsters who could all be, and they have, they keep matching them up and doing dumb shit like that. But it's like, if you did this with a little bit more care, you could probably make more money.
yeah.
Because you would get me on board at the very least.
Yeah.
I just, as soon as I see Asylum's name on anything, I'm just like, nope.
Yeah,
It's not going to be the one.
This is probably, sadly, the best thing they will ever make. I hate to say it. Sharknado 2 is probably the best thing Asylum will ever make, unless somebody up high goes, you know what? It's time. Let's make real movies with no budget. Like let's shoot for that instead of just a cash in.
Yeah.
Like how little can we make this for to make our money back? Because I don't know. I mean, it's like there are things that like want to be clever in this, and it's like and you can tell like the filmmaker knows the source material that they're aping and everything, but they just don't get it. They don't get how to like do it where it's more clever. Like it's just like you can make an homage. It's fine. Just do it better.
I feel like this sort of genre of movie, whatever you're gonna describe it as, is just about done.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's got legs anymore.
No, now it has fins.
Well, the sad thing about it is it's more clearly about strictly money making than even big studio movies are.
Yeah.
Well, it's that.
It's how cheap can we be?
Yeah, it's cashing in on that sort of like everybody loves self-referential, hyper-aware, super goofy stuff like this. I don't even know a good way to describe it, but everybody loves this sort of tongue-in-cheekiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's run its course. I think the only way to move forward for Asylum is to either go back to
league. That's what they need.
They're either going to do that or they're going to go back to just making their mockbusters and just go along with that, because that's something that they're sort of terrible, but they're good at cranking them out. But they have to get away from this. They can't. It's not going to sustain.
I was talking to Mackie about this probably a week ago, and it was just like, I wish they would take their Sharknado 2 money and like, okay, you've got a profit from that. That's going to go to Sharknado 3 or whatever, but use some of that extra money that you're getting from this endeavor to make a real movie. And it doesn't have to be Sophie's Choice. I'm not talking about real movie. I just mean like someone who gets it, someone who's like time to tell a story. And the thing that rubbed me the wrong way about the first one is that you've got this thing creating a tornado of sharks, and like no one questions it, no one acknowledges it. It's just like, oh my god, sharks everywhere, run. And it's like no one's like, hey, wait, what is no one's like, what is happening? Why are there sharks? I mean, why is
this is I don't want to stop the Asylum discussion, but this is a really good segue into what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
Which is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Did Asylum make that?
No. However, what you're talking about, where it's like nobody double checks anything, it feels like it's all made first take, all that.
One pass on it.
Yeah. I'll say this. I liked Amazing Spider-Man 2 as I was watching it. I enjoyed it. I think, I don't quite understand the irrational hatred that a lot of people have for it. I do acknowledge that, yes, Jamie Foxx early on is a bit too Joel Schumacher Batman movie type guy before he turns into the supervillain. But I realize it's written by Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci, who have done the Transformers movies, the new Star Trek movies, all that stuff. Like, they are not known for having a good track record in what they do. And I've realized every script they have feels like a first draft script, where you've got the outline of it. You've got, okay, we set up this awesome action scene and we want this. And there's a few one-liners that they had in their mind that they wanted to work into a movie that work. But none of the connective anything is there. So it feels like it's scene, 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 scene. Oh yeah, we need this scene. And we need this scene to show why he's doing this. And so when you're watching it, it's so propulsive. It's moving forward constantly. It's going, and then when you watch the second time, you're like, or when you get out of the theater and you think about it, you're like, oh wait, what was his motivation for doing that? Why was this here? Why wouldn't he just do this? It's the whole Star Trek Into Darkness thing, almost exactly, where it's like, man, that was fun. I really like that. Why do people hate that so much?
Yeah.
And then you think about it later and you're like, well, that was pretty dumb. Why didn't he just do that? And that's how this movie is as well. And it's made even worse by the editing in it is bad. Just flat out bad. Because what they've done, instead of excising entire scenes, which apparently they did already, and the movie's 2 hours and 15 minutes, already cut entire scenes, the way they trim the runtime from this point forward is basically trimming every scene by like 20, 30 seconds. So it's like taking an essay or a story and just removing all the adjectives. So it's like, all right, here's the bones of the scene, like, get it done. And so there's no flair to it, because there are deleted scenes on the DVD that are like, this has some personality, this is doing something, and you see exactly what they cut to get that scene down to 2 minutes as opposed to 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it's the whole movie feels like we were missing something here, and then we were missing something here, and then we were missing something here. And that's kind of what the Asylum stuff to me is like, where it's like, we're cranking this out, man. Like, get script pages out. Like, what are we doing next? We got to do that. Effects guys got to work on this.
Yeah.
And it's got to be done like tomorrow. So it feels like the whole shit, we got to write this on the bus on the way to school because this essay's due today thing. Right. And that's unfortunately how Kurtzman and Orsi's movies, I can't think of one that doesn't feel like a first draft. And yet I still like Spider-Man, because like Spider-Man the character in that movie is terrific. He is exactly how I imagine him from the comics. And in that he's wisecracking when he's fighting guys, he moves the way you think Spider-Man should move. The way it's directed in the action scenes is really terrific, because you never lose the sense of geography, even though some scenes there is complete chaos going on. But you're never like, wait, how is he over there? What's he doing? There's always a logical progression to all the shots that, even though there's a lot of fast motion going on, you're still never lost about what's happening. And there's also some good use of extreme slow motion and then doing like the 3D pan through frozen scene thing to kind of show like how his spider sense works and how he's, all that stuff. But they try and shoehorn like 3 movies worth of stuff into the last 30 minutes. And that kind of ruins a lot of it. Because there's stuff that's happening that's like, yeah, if you're doing the series and you know what you're doing, this is important shit. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like, get it all in here. Like it's almost like that whole, like, we might not make another one of these, so just get that in here too, so that we can say we used it. It's because that's what I hate about all the Sony Spider-Man stuff now, is it's use this so we have the rights to it and don't lose it.
So Venom, basically.
Kind of. It definitely, it feels like that, because there is stuff later on, like the whole Harry Osborn, Green Goblin stuff is very much like it plays out in the sidelines of the movie. And that's something that's like, bam, here we are.
Oh.
It's the end of the movie. We're here. It's like, wait, no. And it's just one of those things that it feels like an adaptation of a book, where like Harry Potter films suffered from this severely, where it was like, if you didn't read the book, this scene makes no sense. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if you don't know the history of these comic characters, this scene makes no sense. But considering they're supposed to be in a different universe and all that, it's a frustrating movie, because there's a lot of good stuff, like Harlow talked about, where he said he thought it was 90% good and 10% bad. I think it's kind of like that, but to me, it's like that 10% is just sprinkled into everything. It's kind of like, you made a salad and then you put the wrong seasoning on top of it or something, And so it's still all right, but there's something not quite right about every bite. You know, as opposed to if you just put the wrong ingredient and then you pushed it off to the side, the rest of the salad still tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this movie is like. Is it's like you sprinkled something wrong on it.
Yeah. Are you going to get to Fringe anytime soon? I know you bought that way back.
TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were the showrunners on it.
I know. And that kind of worries me.
But it's weird, even though they do abandon a lot of story elements, the attention to detail when they do hit on something that they like is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious. I'd like to talk Fringe with you at some point.
I'd like to watch it. Is it on any streaming services?
It might be.
That might be my better way of getting to see it.
Okay.
But yeah, I do want to see that show because I know a lot of people that really, really, really enjoy that in an X-Files-y way.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm a big fan of X-Files.
Although, well, I won't tell you.
Okay. Don't tell me.
Don't go into it as a fan of the X-Files.
Okay.
I'll say that.
All right. What about as a fan of early Alias?
Sure, yeah. That'd be great.
Okay.
Do that.
Why?
And Felicity.
Yes. Big Felicity
All
fan
of Felicity.
Here. Yeah. Oh, that whole magic part, that was the best.
Yeah.
No, actually. No. But yeah, but Asylum is very much the same way where it feels like crap, you know, just not good filmmaking just with a cheaper budget.
No.
I guess.
Yeah.
Do you guys got anything else you want to discuss or
Negative?
I'd like to respond to some emails.
Oh, we can do that.
We got emails.
I would like to discuss your response to those emails.
We got a few of them.
Great.
All right. So let me just start cranking them out, huh? Is that what you guys want?
Yeah, make the
Yeah.
sausage. Make the sausage, man.
Yeah.
Just crank it out.
BMF@BMFcast.com is the email address.
It sure is.
Yeah. So if you really want to send one, or you call 9105-JACKS BMF, 90556-9263. So anyway, first one up
my
is from
job.
Kent.
England?
No, Kent Williams.
No, Kent cigarettes.
Kent cigarettes. But no, Kent from I don't know where. But he says,
Oh, I've been there.
yeah. He says, one name. Steve Railsback. Speaking of X-Files.
Sure, okay.
I was late finding your podcast, but I quickly burned through your episodes on iTunes as well as some of the older episodes where you reviewed some of my favorites, e.g. Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Tracks, and Star Crash. But in all your episodes, I have not noticed any films featuring one of my favorite B-movie actors, Steve Railsback. I first discovered Mr. Railsback watching his 1998 action film, The Termination Man. But he's made so many other Jocks-worthy films. If you watch just one of his cinematic masterpieces, I recommend 1993's Private Wars. And he sends the trailer. He says, this thing is 5 jocks all the way. Keep up the good work, guys. Kent.
Thanks, Kent.
Yeah, we have not watched any Steve Railsback.
His filmography is limited. I don't know about his direct-to-video stuff, but I don't know. Life Force could be a thing if it wasn't 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, that's always been the problem with Life Force.
Yeah. Well, no, that's one of many problems with Life Force.
No, but it's got nudity, which we like.
Yeah. He's Dwayne Barry.
I know.
He talks
X-Files.
about himself in third person all the time.
God, those episodes are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Dwayne Barry.
I love it we still remember his name.
Sure, because he said it 90 times.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do some Steve Railsback.
Okay.
Sure.
Just not Life Force unless we got a lot of time on our hands.
Okay.
Sunday Life Force.
I'll look around the Steve Rails. The Termination Man sounds pretty good. It's
Yeah,
like Terminator,
Termination Man.
but with an extra man.
Yeah. Man in the process of terminating is a termination man.
You just
Maybe
get
he's just a boss.
termination.
He just goes around
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, kid, but
Yeah.
you're fired.
He's an efficiency expert.
Yes.
Comes-
We're just going to stop paying him. And we'll
yeah, it'll
take-
work
yeah,
itself out.
yeah.
All right. Next one up. It's from BJ's friend Yuri.
Hey, Jerry.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Who says a few shorter ones. He says, yo, I recommended I can't speak. He says, yo, I recommended a movie called Roar and just assumed that Chuck would know it based on the film's cult status. I was wrong. Sorry, Chuck. But here's a quick rundown on that. A bunch of people in Africa, big-ass cats attacking shit, troubled production, everybody got mauled by lions and tigers for real. The movie ended up costing $17 million in 1981 money. Terrible bomb. Amazing that no one was killed. It's a curiosity thing if you like watching movies where you know that the people in it are at real risk of dying. I don't know why I'm going on about this movie as it's 102 minutes long and you won't do it. But for second half discussion, sure. 102's it's
That's
close.
doable.
Yeah.
Roar.
Is this
Roar.
like
From 1981.
Weren't you afraid people were going to get killed by the snakes? And
Yeah, people were getting bitten by snakes in that movie.
Oh yeah, people. Oh,
I don't care if they weren't poisonous. There were snakes clamping down on Dirk Benedict in that movie.
Yeah,
That's
it hurt watching your clips of that movie,
Yeah.
which are now removed from YouTube.
yeah.
Thanks, Universal.
Thanks, Universal.
So, yeah. All right, lines, you know.
Sure.
And he continues, he says, and mall horror movies? Well, I got one that's in a supermarket. Does that count? It's this shark movie from 2012 called Bait. And no, wait, don't go. It's not what you think. It's not one of those bad on purpose, haha, trendy shark movies. No, it's pretty much a sincere, irony-free little shark movie. A tsunami traps people in a supermarket, and then there are fucking sharks there. I'd give it 2 jocks. And you know that you're going to have to do a modern shark movie at some points. So 2 birds with 1 stone. At least have it on standby. And it's Australian. Yeah, matey. Yar.
What? They're not pirates.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
They were.
Yeah,
All
maybe.
Australians.
Oh, that's right. They were pirates. We dropped them off on Australia.
Well, criminals.
We might do Bait eventually, but you might want to tune in to a certain member of the podcast YouTube channel.
Yeah, that might pop up in October.
That movie might be there.
He is, as they say in French, the master du bait.
What?
What?
No.
No.
Don't say that in French or anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you might see that already.
Okay.
I might talk about that a bit.
Yeah. And he finishes up with,
Yeah.
then someone keeps recommending High Tension. I'd say no. Too much of a proper film for BMF. Sure, it's got gore, and I kind of get where the dude recommending it is coming from. But let me put it like this. It's from the director who did that nasty-ass Hills Have Eyes remake and that delightfully gory Piranha remake, Piranha 3D. High Tension is nasty like Hills Have Eyes. The craftsmanship of the gore is something to marvel at, but it isn't in any way fun. So there's an awful twist at the end that just ruins everything. Strictly for second half discussion. Running long with my short subject, so yeah, bye for now. I'm sorry, Cleveland, Ohio. Yuri. I don't know why he's apologizing to Cleveland, but I like that.
I'm sorry, Cleveland.
Yep.
Good night.
High Tension. Apparently he
Yeah.
thinks it's a real, not fun movie.
Say I like that the Piranha reboot. I thought that was all right.
Oh, wasn't that like
Was
kind
3D
of...
the second one?
3 Double D was the second
Oh.
one.
So, but wasn't
Busey's in the
3D
second
pretty
one.
goofy?
I don't know. I saw it on regular. But you could tell it was goofy.
No, but I mean like the movie itself. Was,
Oh, yeah,
The tone of it was very...
Yes.
Okay.
That's the one that starts basically with Richard Dreyfuss' character from Jaws
Oh, okay.
getting killed.
Oh. All right then.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. We might still watch it. We'll see. So next up, we got Sean, who says, "Hey, BMFers.
Hey.
A few weeks
Hey.
ago, you idly mused about whatever happened to Josh Hartnett after the fiasco that was Hollywood Homicide. Well, he starred in a pretty cool movie called Bunraku with Ron Perlman and Woody Harrelson. If you haven't seen it already, I'd recommend it. On the topic of classic kung fu movies, I'd like to recommend Heroes of the East, starring Gordon Master Killer Liu, and Last Hurrah for Chivalry, directed by John Woo. Heroes is the story of a misunderstanding between husband and wife that turns into a week-long martial arts tournament.
Wait, wow. Hang on.
Brother, I can tell you stories. Hurrah is a John Woo action epic about loyalty, honor, betrayal, and the corrupting nature of revenge, only with swords and period costumes instead of guns and trench coats. All right.
Okay.
Finally.
So what is the name of that?
The movie,
The
he'd
first
like
one.
to recommend Heroes of the East.
It's a weird name for a marital spat turn.
No, actually, Last Hurrah for Chivalry is the
okay.
Meryl Spat one, but that's by John Woo.
John Woo.
Actually, man, no. Actually, Hurrah is the action epic about loyalty, honor, betrayal, and the corrupting nature of revenge. Yeah, Heroes of the East is the misunderstanding between husband and wife that turns into a week-long martial arts tournament.
Do anything right.
Doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
Heroes of the East.
You know,
Did you take the trash out? No. Fill out the bracket.
hey, man, it happens. He says, finally,
Marital combat.
yeah, there it is. Marital arts, am I right?
Yeah, you are right.
Finisher.
Finally, what do you guys think about Eric Roberts? I've only seen a few of the films he has starred in, By the Sword, The King's Guard, and Dead or Alive, but they seem like prime fodder for the podcast. Congratulations on surviving Dogist, Sean.
Woof.
If you've only seen 3 Eric Roberts movies, you're just not watching enough movies because that dude is fucking in. But he's got like 100
I think
movies
he means
this calendar
BMF
year.
worthy.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Because everyone's like, I saw him in The Dark Knight. It's like, yeah, we know.
That was a get for him. That was a big day for Eric Roberts.
He was. He was
Right
like, I'm in
there.
a legitimate movie,
Yeah.
you sons of bitches.
Yeah. I love Eric Roberts.
Yes, we know you do.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you all know
Do we
that.
have any...
We watched, he was in
Holy-
Christmas Rush.
Okay, you're right. Actor, 367 credits.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone with that many credits.
Yeah. If you count the ones with just like a 2014 release date, it's insane.
Yeah, they all say and post-production, pre. Holy fuck. It's like 4 pages.
Yeah.
That's just this year. What?
Yeah.
Where does
My
Clint
God.
Howard rank on that?
I don't think he works that
No?
much.
No, probably not that
No.
much.
Eric Roberts works.
He's
Now,
in a movie called Zombie Dream.
226 for Clint Howard.
Jesus.
Man, Clint left in the dust. Left in the dust by Eric Roberts.
I bet if you do a combined search for Eric Roberts and Clint Howard, you will get IMDb will just blow up.
Frank Welker. Frank Welker,
Okay.
I bet beats.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
there you
but
go.
he just sits in a sound booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different.
Lazy fuck.
Just saying.
No, but he can bang out all his scenes
No, I
in
know.
a couple days.
I know. I think Eric Roberts probably does the same thing. I think he walks from trailer park to trailer park and films their movie and then goes to the
Yeah,
next thing.
he actually has no home. He just lives in his
Yep,
trailer
he
at
might.
the movie. And
Do you want the
eats
total?
catering.
Frank Welker?
Sure.
727.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wowzers. But yeah, Eric Roberts is good. You should watch some Eric Roberts movies.
All right,
By the Sword's pretty good.
cool. All right, next up we got Tim, who's got a recommendation for us. He says, "Hello, BMFers.
Hello.
I believe I found a movie that should be in your crosshairs.
Okay.
This is one we've heard before. This movie is a Civil War battle recreated into a turf battle movie with themes of Save the Rec Center / dance battle movie. If you decide to give it a go, attempt to watch it without any knowledge of what it is, as this is how I have shown it to almost everyone I can. The movie is called FP and is on
yeah,
Netflix
okay.
since it's streaming for easy viewing. If trailers needed, go with the red band one. Also, subtitles are a plus to ensure none of the amazing dialogue is missed. Crash and burn, Tim out.
What was the name of the movie again?
The FP,
The FP.
everyone wants us to see the FP.
I believe that was actually one of those that Alamo Films discovered because they had a display of their, like
Oh, really?
Miami Connection and stuff, and I believe the FP was up there.
Okay.
Good on them.
Just saying.
It's on the short list. It's like we're just waiting for an excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gotten over the fact that
Yeah.
the budget's like $30,000 or something
Yeah.
ludicrously low.
We'll be all right.
Yeah. But we will be watching it, don't worry.
Oh, as a whole group, we're gonna
I think
attempt
so.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You
I
abandoned.
thought some. Well, no, I thought
To
some.
Lou,
I
Dance
thought
and Lou,
some
or-
people said it was actually a good movie. I don't know.
No, I don't think people are saying it's a good movie.
No. Okay.
No.
Can't possibly be. Good.
Please.
Please. They settle disputes through dancing. It can't be good.
No.
Yes, it's like settling land disputes with giant robots. It's so stupid.
Hey, you shut your fucking mouth. You shut your fucking mouth.
I'm just parallels
Dup.
here.
One makes sense. The other not so much.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a hint. It's the one with the fucking robots, you son of a bitch.
What if they were dancing robots?
Hey. Okay, I'm back in. You got it.
Oh man.
And they did the human. That was their dance. Oh my baby!
If the giant robots did the Carlton, I would be all in.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to knock my microphone off doing
No.
the Carlton, or that's what I would have done.
But yeah, you make robot jocks, but instead of fighting, they have to dance battle. Just
Oh
a
my
big
God.
arena of giant robots. Just
Yes.
Chuck, you have just invented the printer that makes money.
What step
Thank
up
you.
do we call this?
Lube up.
Step up transformer.
just step up, and then whatever dubstep translates out to into
Wub step.
zeeb
Yeah,
zop
it would be
Step dub.
wub wub
step up 111101001.
step wub.
So,
We'll workshop it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've already mailed the idea to myself, so you can't steal it, motherfuckers.
it's already at the copyright office.
Do we want to do our voicemail? How many more emails we got?
Oh, geez, Louise, we got 2 more.
Okay.
Let's do a voicemail.
All right, let's break it up.
Yeah, let's not listen to me.
Gosh, fucking darn it.
God, we didn't even mention that from the
That
movie.
was such a good line.
Bonjour, or hey guys, Spear calling, long time, first time. Just a quick shout out that you guys should really look at a movie like Face Off. Not so much a 1-star film, but over-the-top action, John Woo classic 90s movie. Anyway, that's all I'd like to say. You guys rock. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
Let me say this about Face Off because it came up this weekend.
Okay.
It was in between watching movies, and it was on A&E of all things, and just like random scene on as we went from DVR movie to DVR movie, and just like the 45 seconds of it that we saw was just like, this looks like. I mean, I've seen it before, but just watching that clip again was just like, this looks like the best terrible movie of all time. This is just John Travolta doing an impression of Nicolas Cage while Nicolas Cage looks on horrified is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's pure genius. That we should totally find time to do.
I need to rewatch that.
Four of us love that movie.
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
You're the only one that's
all
like,
of us.
okay.
I really need to revisit it again, because I have not watched it through the newly acquired BMFcast lens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
And really, for the longest time, I hate both John Travolta and Nick Cage, so that movie was just like kryptonite to me.
Sure.
And
I tell you what,
it's the whole, I want to take his face off.
Real quick, I watched a bunch of movies, and one of them was Honeymoon in Vegas, and I was not expecting that level of crazy Nick Cage that early on in his career. I'd kind of forgotten, like when it started. Holy God, in that movie, unhinged, just unhinged Nicolas Cage, like singing and yelling all of his dialogue, and how like general audiences were like shelling out money for this movie, just like hooray, amuses the hell out of me. That is just your standard rom-com, but
they
he
wanted
is
to pick
just,
me up after leaving Las Vegas.
I guess.
They wanted Honeymoon in Vegas.
but man, he is off in that movie.
Did you end up watching a BMFcast movie?
I did not watch Navy SEALs.
Why not?
It was not available to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry.
I remember you had said you were going to.
Yes, it was on the list, and then I was like, I don't own this. I thought I owned it.
And I
but-
seem to remember saying, if you don't love this movie, we're not friends anymore.
well, yeah, no pressure there. So that coupled with not owning the movie, I was like, well, this will have to wait. So
Right. All right. Next email's up is from Adam, who references the immersion viewing, which was brought up last week, the week before, where you watch same movie 5 nights in a row, which we might do with Detention. We'll see.
yeah,
Says, "Hail Bamfcast, happy autumn, nerds." Regarding the immersion viewing suggestion in the last episode, I can, with only slight shame, admit that I saw Michael Mann's Miami Vice in the theater in a single week, not fewer than 4 times. The things that kept me coming back survived the experience, and now I own 3 or 4 versions in various permanent media. But I came to see the movie's flaws pretty vividly. Chiefly a slack third act, and then the internet is blamed on Hurricane Katrina and or Jamie Foxx being too scared to film in the very lawless Tres Fronteras region of South America. Damn it, Tubbs, get your head in the game. A real movie recommendation this time. I don't remember whether you guys ever discussed A Most Wanted Man, but it's pretty good. P.S. Hoffman is terrific, but he looks god-awful. A pretty elegant espionage movie, but a little too vague to be a classic. Hail Dogust, Adam, sent from my flying toaster screensaver.
After Dark, baby.
I
have not seen...
I've never seen either of those movies.
I know.
I've seen Miami Vice. I didn't need 5 times to know there's something wrong with that movie.
It has fans.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
does.
It's
So did Hitler. Whatever.
Oh, there we go. one step.
Hitler quota. Hitler quota reached.
Bang! Well, out for the year.
Godwin's
Go
Law
ahead.
met.
Yeah.
I think I killed Chuck.
Go ahead, put a quarter in the Hitler jar already. Come on.
Hey! That's the one time I've done it.
This episode.
Put a quarter in the Hitler jar right now.
man, I wasn't expecting that. Straight to Hitler. I was just not prepared.
There are steps, sir.
I was just gonna say
Not-
I like the fact that people can't figure out if it was Hurricane Katrina or Jamie Foxx who sunk that movie. Which one? I don't know. A deadly disaster or a kind of weird actor. Who knows?
But I have not seen A Most Wanted Man.
Nope.
I don't even know what that is, to be totally honest
I've
with you.
never. He said Hoffman. Is he talking about Dustin Hoffman? Is he suggesting we watch a Dustin Hoffman movie?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, well.
You got to call him Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, that's the brand new one.
Oh, okay.
Or semi-new.
Okay.
He's got so many new movies. It's hard to.
The last one that came out.
Okay.
Oh, man, it's Anton Corbijn, too. That could be pretty good.
I don't really know if we could do a Philip Seymour Hoffman.
No.
No.
He's just asking if we've seen it,
Oh, okay.
period.
All
Like,
right.
not at all for us.
Okay.
And
No,
number
I
one
would
is
watch
2 hours
that-
and 2 minutes. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would watch that because The American was really, really good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it's got Philip Seymour Hoffman, dude. Come
Yeah.
on.
And Willem Dafoe.
All right, last one here.
I
Came in during the episode
Oh damn.
from Steve like the bird heron. Title is I got it bad, got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm hot for teacher. Says Casters of Banff.
Hello.
You know who it is. Steve like the bird heron. Squawk and such. I started school yesterday. Yay? No. No. Actually, I'll go with boo. High school blows. Except for drama. That class is fun. Anyway, I'm ranting. I'm glad you guys did Detention, getting me into the back-to-school spirit. In late August, early September, I watch a lot of back-to-school type movies so I can drown my sorrows in butter and popcorn. It, of course, includes
choice.
Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, Heathers, like I mentioned before, Dead Poet Society, Footloose, and Back to School. The last one is a little on the nose. All this leads to American Graffiti, which I watch every year on the last day of summer, then on the first day of school, Rock and Roll High School. I'll be adding Detention to the list next year, so I was wondering, any movies you guys used to watch around back to school time? If not, I don't know what to tell you. Stories? I mainly want more ideas for next year. Because all in all, I'm just another brick in the wall. Note to self, add the wall to the list. CMB, Steve like the bird heron, sent via me giving the note to Emily, who gave it to Jose, who gave it to you during biology.
Very nice.
Well done, Steve.
Let me just say,
Do not add the wall to your list.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, don't add the wall to your list. It's not good.
Steve, I didn't know that you were in high school. At first, I felt a little bad that such a young man is listening to our terrible words.
Such an impressionable young man,
But-
corrupted by the influence of...
Steve sounds like that mythical movie character of someone in high school who actually gives a fuck about anything before his time.
Okay.
You know, like the kind of high school character that a 40-year-old man writes because that's how they want to believe kids are when they really aren't. So my hat's off to you, Steve, for actually giving a shit about
being that guy.
80s movies and 70s movies. I mean, Rock and Roll High School, good luck showing that to anybody, let alone someone your age. I mean...
I think you need to give the kids more credit, Chuck.
I'm giving him all the credit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm saying give those other kids some credit.
I don't know shit about those other kids.
Spread the credit around.
Yeah.
I want to give it all to Steve.
Maybe he needs to find some other kids to listen. Then maybe he needs to find and make a club. Like they can meet, like for their first meal of the day or something.
But so anyway, I never had a back to school tradition.
No.
I was always kind of... I don't know. I liked going back to school, and that lasted for about 2 days. And then I was like, "Man, fuck school."
We had a tradition. We used to watch like the kinescopes. No, because like movies are a lot easier to get nowadays. we had to like run out to the video store and hope they maybe had a movie in the back catalog for us to watch.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Or just go scroll through some microfiche in the library, read some old newspaper articles about other kids going back to school.
Zapruder film over and over again.
Yeah, boy, that's
I just watched film strips.
Yeah.
Boom. Jiminy
I was saying it's a little bit more of an on-demand society nowadays.
Yeah.
It's we didn't really prep for like going back to school. It was just like,
No, and I certainly didn't watch movies that reminded me of school. I was just like, fuck, it's school time. So,
One Crazy Summer.
watch Summer
Just
School.
live out the I was gonna say watch Summer School, One Crazy Summer, and just stretch out summer that last
Right.
little bit.
So, please, one more day.
Yeah. I like watching high school movies. I just
Sure.
Not in high
didn't
school.
like being reminded of going back to
Yeah.
school and watching them. So what can I say?
Yeah,
I have no
nothing for that.
stories.
Yeah. Does that bring us to the end of our journey? Minus contact information?
I think it does.
Indeed.
Sure.
What do you want?
Sure.
Contact information for real? Oh,
Thought about it?
I do it every week.
Website? Go there?
BMFcast.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buttons on the side?
Yeah, I got
there.
those. We got some buttons you can click for our social stuff, Facebook, Twitter, whatevs. Email us, bmf at bmfcast.com. You can do that. You can hit us up on the tweeters at bmfcast, especially if you're Josh Hutcherson in response to my question about your bowling prowess. Or if you're Paul Walker and want to tweet from the grave.
Too soon, man.
Damn, dude.
It was in my head. I wasn't going to say it. I was like, see?
I make the jokes that you
Or
people
Josh
can't.
Hutcherson.
That you don't have the testicular
Something
fortitude.
happens to him.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I just killed Josh Hutcherson.
I don't think you did. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
If he responds.
We're going to be all right.
Is that why Paul Walker
Oh,
died?
great. Now we're going to be on a list. We just made it onto a watch list. Awesome.
Oh, if you think we weren't on a watch list from the get-go, we willingly watched Wicker Man. And talked about it like 9 times.
Oh, because it's a snuff film and the government watches people who watch snuff films.
That was 8mm.
Yeah, get your Nicolas Cage.
Both of them.
Oh, you're
Well, Nicolas
right.
Cage didn't actually die on film, as far as we know.
As far as we know. There's someone out there pretending.
I don't know.
to be
He got a
Nick Cage.
beard pretty fierce.
Yeah, he did.
They were in his
his eyes. Yeah.
In your eyes. He's there.
Anyhow.
Yes, I think that'll just about do it. There's
If
other
you want to give us a
contact
call,
information.
9105-JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. Give us a call.
Right,
Do it.
Operators are standing by.
sitting by on the table.
Yes.
All right, let's get out of here. I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
And I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. See you next time, motherfuckers.
Yeah, next time.
Now, when you edit the show, just take like 10-minute chunks and mix them all up in a pile, and just throw them all together, and that'll fit the theme of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Just random nonsense.
Hey, that reminds me of the time we did this.
That reminds.
All right.
That's why Mom left you.
Oh, God, I forgot about that, too.
All right. Good night, Internet.
We also didn't even mention that the
We didn't
the
mention
bear movie was
90
named Planet Starclaw.
Yeah.
Which
think
I
said-
would
think
watch
said
Planet
Starclaw.
Starclaw
Yes.
in a heartbeat.
Starclaw.
Yeah.
Running through the grizzly lake.
Starclaw!
Running to the alien ship.
Starclaw!
Starclaw.
Just to be clear,
Anyway.
it was an alien grizzly bear because it had like antenna and shit. But it was super stoked to get on that UFO.
But I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna hang up now or end this thing.
Good night,
no,
everyone.
no,
Disconnect.
no. You hang up. No, you, no.
No, you.
No, you.
No.
You hang up.
No, you hang up first.
All right.
BMFcast out.
Are you still there?
Motherfucker.
Oh, you didn't hang up.
Ah.